It's finals day here for the SFT eFoil World Tour. We are about to find out our champion in the next couple of hours across the women's, the men's, and the open division. We had yesterday a time trial around this Fahid Island beach resort. Let's find out the highlights of our first day of action here.
The glorious setting of Abu Dhabi's Fahid Island is the perfect stage for the closing stop of the Surffoil World Tour's eFoil season. After 5 earlier rounds, the first world champion in this fast-growing new discipline will be crowned at the Fahid Island Watersports Festival. The riders on their motorized hydrofoils race around a tight course close to the beach, where the spectators get an up-close view of all the thrills and spills in this young sport.
So we're here in Abu Dhabi, exactly at Fahid Island, which is one of the still naked islands, I would say, where a big property development of Aldar is building a new residential area for beach living lifestyle. And part of this is doing water sports, and that's why we are here running this huge event with 5 different disciplines, one of them being the SFT eFoil World Cup, which is also the final event of the season, and we're going to crown our SFT World Tour champions in the eFoil discipline here in Abu Dhabi. It's quite ideal spot, I would say. Most of the days in the morning you have glassy conditions, the water is butter flat, the water is warm, you can ride in your board shorts, and that's why I think the whole UAE and Abu Dhabi is a real El Dorado for eFoil riders.
So an eFoil is basically a flying electric surfboard, and eFoil racing is quite new, but it's super exciting to bring the sport of an eFoil, because before it's maybe been considered a bit more as a yacht toy, but now people have really seen it's becoming a sport. And eFoil racing is basically a course that you put out, and you're gonna go as fast as possible around the course. So it's very technical, it's high speeds, you feel it in your legs. So no, it's super fun that this is really becoming a sport in the industry.
I'm Justin Chait, I'm from South Florida. I'm here for the SFT eFoil World Championships. I've been preparing for the races by training in the trees, running it through the Everglades, running through tight canals, riding open ocean, really pushing the eFoil past its boundaries, and that really helps when you go onto a fixed course with the least amount of variables. Also competing in all the different events has really helped kind of learn how to manage stress and ride against other racers. So yeah, I think that's been helping a lot. Right now I'm leading the rankings. It's been a good year. Competition's been getting tougher and tougher, but yeah, it's been going very well.
The American, Justin Chait, heads the rankings after dominating the earlier stops. It continues to go well, and he goes top of the order in Abu Dhabi after all 26 athletes complete 2-time laps of the course. The times on day 1 seed the riders for the next rounds of head-to-head action. Chait still has work to do if he is to lift the crown.
I think it was a good run. I got 109 on the first one and ended up beating my first lap time with 106. So I think I'm at the top, so overall success.
Austria's Clemens Kresser is second place and breathing down the American's neck after the qualification round. Arpa Zuriguel Manel is also just a few seconds adrift of the leader. In the women's competition, Agnes Wikander also comes into the event head of the rankings. the Swede continues her speedy streak in Abu Dhabi. Her closest rival is Poland's Agnieszka Abramovich, who shows a great turn of speed. On day 2, the athletes will run off against one anther in 3 separate divisions to crown our winners. The new fans of e-foil racing will be able to enjoy the vibe all over again.
It was a remarkable day of competition yesterday. It blew up a little bit in the afternoon to get some wind sports in the afternoon, and that allowed our e-foil competition to run into our second morning. As you can see, flat, calm lake conditions here in Fahid Island on Abu Dhabi, and we are getting ready for our elimination phase and therefore crowning our champions. Now, how will this work? We have divided our categories from yesterday into 3 separate categories. So we've got a women's division. That was an easy division. Decide who the women are and put them in the women's division. And then we've got a pro and open division for the men. So top 8 men were put into the pro division and the rest of them into the open male category. And then they will have a knockout competition in those 3 categories to decide our champions. Now, slightly confusingly, because of the lack of men in the open category, our round 1 should consist of 8 heats. That's logical if you know anything about knockouts. However, because we've only got 10 men in there, 11 men, we will only see 3 knockouts in round number 1. So Dominic Hoskins, Max Domijan, Timosan Gulchan, Alan Fedit, and Renaud Barbier, they all have buys. They all have free passes through into round number 2. And so in this round number 1, we are going to see Semyon Kalicek, Baptiste Barbier racing against each other. And then it will be Amazing Mahou and Emid Manani racing against each other in the second of the heats, which is actually heat 7. Why are those guys racing each other and everyone else gets buys? It's just the luck of the draw and the way that the draw is created, the way that the knockout is created. Athletes, or at least one athlete, is on the line, and we are going to have a pursuit-style race. So if we go back to that drone shot, we'll be able to explain exactly how it's going to work. Athlete in the water on the right-hand side, it's going to head off left, and then the athlete that's right in the center of the screen, actually, they are going to head off right. So they're going clockwise around the course. You can see the course there marked out by the yellow boys, and they are going to do 2 full laps. So they're going to cross that line denoted by those 3 white boys 4 times, and it sounds as though we are going to get going. Red flag comes up, so that's 10 seconds to go. They're not allowed to cross the line before, and once the green flag goes up, now they can go. Standing start, and off we go. So this is Baptiste at the top of your screen. Baptiste Barbier and Semyon Kalicek is number 13 heading off. Oh, hang on. I think that was a false start by the looks of things. The yellow flag is up, yes. So somebody crossed the line before the start. So we're going to reset. Don't know if our camera can see the yellow flag. Probably not. It's just in the wrong place. But there it is. Yellow flag means false start. It means one athlete crossed the line before the start. I think it was this man, Baptiste Barbier. Now, I've done a lot of talking, but I do have a second commentator alongside me today. Liam Dredge is actually the expert, so I should have been saying, passing that all off to you, Liam. But it's a new sport. It's kind of a new competition, so we're all really starting at a base level.
No, thanks very much, Ben. All good. I was enjoying listening to that amazing intro of yours there. It really set the tone for what's going to be hopefully a really exciting day number 2. But yes, these guys will now be racing head-to-head, unlike yesterday where we had those time trials. So we're expecting sort of that cat and mouse chasing style racing out there and seeing who advances through. Worth noting as well, we are going to be crowning world champions as this is the final stop for the SFT E4. So there's plenty at stake. And yeah, we're seeing all sorts of different setups. It's quite interesting. I was down at the beach while they were all setting up their gear earlier. We've got different size boards, different size sort of masts and front wings, and etc. Plenty of choice. Different setups suit different sort of riders depending on their riding style or their weights, for example. But we'll dive hopefully into the kit a little bit deeper and see exactly what the likes of Manel or Justin are riding, which gives them that extra edge that what they had yesterday. But looks like we're going to be going back into sequence now. As we can see, the flags are changing. The riders are starting to get prepared. And it sounds like we are all go. There we go. Green flag up. So nice clean start, it looks like.
Yeah, it was Baptiste who crossed the line early, so he was a bit more cautious with his start, the youngest of the Baptiste family racing, and he is going on up against Semonyak Kalicek, who is a water sports instructor here just across the border in Dubai. And that drone cannot do that because that is super confusing. The only way we're going to know what's going on is if that drone stays still. But as we see it, the left-hand side of the course, as we see it from there, the left-hand side of the course, that is Semon, and on the right-hand side is Baptiste. And you can see that Semon is up at the top end of the course now, so for sure he is ahead of Baptiste, and that is exactly how we'd expect it to be with the seeding.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's had a flying start out there, got around that first buoy nice and quickly. Still plenty of time and gaps between them, but it does look like he's way ahead at the moment. You can see they're crossing that buoy there, going up to the yellow, and his rival, let's say, just coming through to his halfway point now in between those yellow buoys.
So that is half a lap completed. Baptiste started by going right. He's now going left. So they will come round and complete lap 1. And then there's a second lap. So these races are going to be 3, 4, 5 minutes long. And a little bit of endurance, really, because the guys need to stay on their boards. And we did see Baptiste having a couple of crashes yesterday. It is much harder than it looks. Much, much harder than it looks.
Going to be the legs are going to be burning for sure when they get to the latter stage of each, and they're going down. That's not going to help because flying now through that next point.
Yeah, so that's 1 lap completed, isn't it, for Semonyak? And if Semon, if he gets to a point where he's going to start overtaking Baptiste, then the black flag will fly on the course committee boat. And that will mean that, and actually Semon has stopped. So has he stopped because he's fallen off? Has he stopped because he's been put off by Baptiste? Either way, he was getting pretty close to overtaking, and the race control don't want any overtaking.
No, but the green flag's still going up, so no change. The race is still well and truly on, but you can see he's really hot on the heels now.
I think he's just waiting for Baptiste to continue, and then he will follow him along. They don't want too much close quarters between the athletes. There is Baptiste, who I think might be heading towards the beach. And yes, the black flag is now raised. You just saw it at the bottom of the shot there. That means that this race is null and void because Baptiste was caught by Semon, and that means Baptiste is eliminated and Semyon takes the victory. No flying finish, a little bit of a tame end to our first heat. But as we go through our heats, we are going to see more and more fierce competition.
Yeah, it's worth noting as well, yesterday when we had the time trials, they all sort of got 2 goes. But now with the elimination, it's just a 1 race. The race is slightly longer, as we mentioned, but it's just 1 race. And if they overtake or they cross the line first, then we see whoever goes through to the next round.
Good opportunity to see the underside of some of these incredible pieces of technology. Yes, the foil is pretty amazing, but then adding a drive to it, adding this e-foil technology, and you can see the drive there, the blades folding back.
Yeah, that's a folding prop that they've got set up there, which basically means as soon as they take their finger off the trigger, so it's a Bluetooth connection, you see the control there just lying on the board. It's Bluetooth connected to what's an e-box, which sits in the lift foil, the e-foil, along with the battery. As soon as they take their finger off the trigger, that folding prop just folds away when it gives less drag like that. But what we're seeing is the majority of these riders are riding more of a fixed propeller, like a 3-blade fixed propeller. The other option, or the other sort of one we see quite a lot of, is using a jet engine. But the more power, I would say, for the setup is going to be your fixed prop.
So Simon on that Audi kit, he progresses through. our next heat. Oh, look at that. Nice graphics. Amazing Mahu. I'm pretty sure that's not how you say his name.
But we're going to go with it, aren't we?
It's pretty cool.
We like it.
Emad Manani, who's a business school graduate in the French Baccalaureate School of Dubai. And he's just got his baccalaureate there. And obviously at weekends heads down to the Dubai water park, where so many of these athletes have come from this weekend. He is on the lift kit, whereas about half the field's got Manta kits. Doesn't help. Definitely helps that the CEO of Manta is competing this weekend.
It does.
And I think also is based out here in Dubai. So we will see those two athletes compete next. I see that Semon is still in the water. He doesn't need to be in the water. He is done. And we are waiting for number 25 and number 40 to get into the water. Maybe, just to confuse us, they are not. Because the athletes I see going into the water now are I see number 13 still floating around. And I've just seen 15 getting into the water. Now, number 15 is Baptiste Barbier. So are we rerunning that race?
Yeah, I can't see any of the flags down at the committee boat making any changes at the moment.
Why are we rerunning this race?
This was a replay here of that last fall. You can see there in the background what a great event site we have as well. They've really put on a great show here for spectators, crew, riders. And down here in the UAE, Abu Dhabi, Fahid Island. Amazing E4 conditions we've got this morning. We're expecting the wind and the breeze to come through around 1 o'clock. Typically, that's when we sort of see it. And as Ben mentioned earlier, we have hydrofoil, we have freestyle kite, we have wingfoil as well later on in the week. But right now, the attention goes on to E-foil, and it does look like
we're rerunning the race.
We're rerunning the race, yeah.
So, Baptiste heading up as he was on the first race, away from us, whereas Semyon here has gone to the left of the beach, far left of the beach, to do the hairpins here, and taking it nice and easy. I think Semyon has learnt from that first competition that he doesn't need to push too hard. And now into the hairpins at the end of the lap, and giving that boy very wide berth is Baptiste Barbier.
You can see Semyon just creeping on the right-hand side, and that's not going to help there. A little fall towards the end. Semyon still up on foil. Plenty of ground to still cover. There you go, you can checking over the shoulder.
Well, looking over the shoulder to see where Semyon is, but he won't get a black flag yet because the Russian is not close enough.
No.
So Baptiste can continue and should continue, and is now heading down towards his half a lap completed.
Yeah, and Semyon is just 3 boys away from completing his full lap. So looking to go a little bit fast. If he carries on with this momentum, I could see him catching in roughly a lap's time. Green flag is still good to go. Semyon now coming around those final hairpins. Baptiste now going around the first part of his second half of the course, let's say.
Now we're rerunning this race because neither competitor finished the last race.
Okay.
There was obviously a little bit of confusion. I thought black flag meant end of race, but it does seem as though the other competitor still needs to finish to call it
a valid result.
A valid result, yeah. So, I mean, at the moment, Semyon is still running, but imagine he gets close to Baptiste but then falls.
Yeah.
It could then switch the other direction. So
that's a nice shot there. We can see
how
creeping.
Flat it is.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't really get, like, for racing style, these sort of conditions where we don't have any flicker of wind and the water is mirror flat, it's pretty much perfect. And you can see this looks like it's going to be a catch here for Semyon.
Yeah, I like the idea of calling this a bit cat and mouse.
Yep.
Semyon does pass Baptiste. And
boom, that's Juan Antonio. He's our race director for the event. Black flag is up.
So the black flag means that I thought the black flag meant that Baptiste was disqualified, but the other athlete has to finish. But we're having exactly the same situation here. Both athletes coming back in, and I'm lost.
Yeah, no, I believe what happened this time is Semyon actually passed Baptiste. Beforehand, he saw him go down and was sort of waiting behind and hovering.
Yeah.
So maybe there was a slight confusion with actually, the first heat of the day. There's always sometimes a few niggles between the riders. I mean, that's why I'd like to be sort of, after the first heat, watch the riders, see, let them make the mistakes, and then head out myself. But yeah, it looks like Semyon there passing Baptiste, a clear winner in that round. In that heat of the first round of the day. And we have a couple of replays here of just how it went down. Baptiste.
It's just too low in the water. The idea is you want that board up clear of the water, because it creates so much drag, doesn't it, when it's sitting in the water?
Exactly, and then the nose of the board just there, just scooping under the water. And as soon as that happens, it's pretty much game over.
Some of our athletes down there sitting in the water. We'll have the pro division for men's coming up quite a bit later on. We've got to get through the full open division, then the full women's. So those that are in the pro men's category, they can be chilling for a good couple of hours before we go racing. And the reason why also it's divided in the way it is because some of the families that we have here, we've got Baptiste here, the son of Angélique and Renaud. They're sharing kit. Basically, they're using the same board, they're using the same foil. So what they didn't want is to go up against each other.
Yeah.
That would have caused a few issues.
Would have been a rock, paper, scissors, wouldn't it? See who goes through.
Who gets the board?
Yeah.
And who just has to swim. Here's Baptiste again. Now, our youngest competitor, still got that radio on his helmet for training purposes, and struggled a little bit in the time trials. He was the slowest man in the time trials. And then, so that's the first of our heats done, but I see no athletes. Oh, no, okay.
That's amazing. Yeah, right there. Looking number 25.
Now he's now looking for his board.
Yeah, but he's only got 1 minute. Or he'll be disqualified.
New rule from the race committee. You need to be in the water in 1 minute. That was not something that was stated earlier on. Clemens Dresser there going off to do a bit of practice. He's one of our, he's actually one of the winners this year in this newly formed SFT World Tour. He was the winner last time out in Lake Garda. So he was in the pro category, which is much later on.
Yeah, he was pretty rapid yesterday, wasn't he? Was he riding the one riding foot straps?
Yes, exactly, yeah.
The only rider as well choosing to ride with foot straps.
So, amazing Mayu jumping into the water. He should be up against Emad Manani. I don't see either athlete in the water at the moment. I can see the 25 getting in. Now, he really struggled. Remember that really short board yesterday, that lift?
Yeah, he's on a 4.2.
So is that
it's the smallest size they do in the lift 4.
Okay, so it's still the same as the equipment as he had yesterday.
Yeah, it looks like the same setup. Maybe he's altered with choosing a different foil or whatnot, but probably most likely I would say it's going to be the same setup. Nicer, if you can keep it together, with those smaller boards being a bit more agile and a bit more nimble around the turns, it could do him well.
So I see him in the water. I don't see the second athlete anywhere to be seen. Should be number 40. I saw him last night leaving the site. I have to say I haven't seen him.
There was a party last night though, Ben, wasn't there?
Well, there was a party last night. That is, as we mentioned earlier, Clement Dresser, who's just having a bit of fun. He's outside of the course, so we can ignore him. Red flag is up, so we are going to go racing, and unfortunately, it seems as we're going to go racing without Emad.
It does look like that.
And
so pretty much a practice lap here.
Yeah, and he needs it, isn't he? Because he really struggled with the balance of this short board yesterday. One of our slower competitors again. It is our slowest 4 competitors that have to get through this first round. And
looks a bit more in tune.
Already looks better. This is a safety lap, though. He has no competition. Oh,
there you go.
We've got a yellow flag up. So did he false start on his own?
No.
Surely not. What's going on now? Oh, dear. There's our camera on the committee boat. Usually when you put a camera on a committee boat, it's dreadful because it rocks around a lot and there's, you'll just get this horrible seasick feeling. But due to the flat, calm waters, it's basically like being on land.
Yeah.
So it's a really good angle. Maybe that was just calling off that race. That was saying, well, you started, thanks very much. You are now through. You've now progressed. So that means we'll go into the next round of competition. In theory, we can go down to the beach in a moment and have an interview with Joe. Whether that's going to happen or not, because there's not many people to interview. We've probably got a bit of time spare.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at the side of the booth here.
And we will move into round number 2 of our competition, where we will see 4 heats. Well, that's a shame, actually, isn't it? We didn't get more competition.
Yeah, easy win.
The first man we're going to see in the water is Dominic Hoskins, who's the European arm of foil drive. And he will go up against Max Domijan from Argentina. That is Dom in the water. Dominique on his entry list, but because he works for an Australian company, obviously shortened his name. Surprised he's not called Dommy. Number 7 from the Netherlands with that foil drive. And Liam, you explained yesterday that foil drive is quite a different system. Actually, you can see it. I don't know if the camera is going to be able to see it, but you can see it attached to the foil in the water.
Yeah, no, it's like an additional, like an accessory, let's say, like a foil assist that you can put onto, your already existing setup. And then, you can place it at different positions on the mast as well, which is quite fancy. A lot of people we're finding using it to sort of assist them on when it comes to wave riding, putting it up at the top of the mast as well, because using it for paddle purposes, getting onto waves, and then as soon as you are on that wave and foiling, obviously the foil drive setup itself will be out of the water, making it quite a nice free feeling. But we are seeing that with e-foils as well. For example, the Lift e-foil, they have the Lift X. You can also have like a higher propulsion unit there, which is a very similar setup. But it's exciting, the e-foil space, let's say, is growing. Its evolution is for sure hitting the market, and the racing side of things as well growing. We're seeing multiple events now regarding the SFT. There's also quite a few sort of local events that are popping up in regards to e-foil. So I think this is the start of quite an interesting prospect.
Both our athletes are in the water, so race control will be getting ready. Now it's Dom, who was less well seeded. So Max decides where to start, in which direction he wants to start. A little bit of discussion between the two athletes, and then they will decide which lane to start and head off towards the line. The rules are you need to be lying on your board before the green flag, and only once the green flag is risen can you stand up on your board, and you cannot cross the start line, obviously, before the green flag. Those are the 2 rules.
Yep.
You can be moving, but you can be, like in sailing, I suppose, you need to be behind the start line. So you can gain momentum up to the line if you can time it right, but you still need to be on your belly at that point.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you've got to time it to perfection. You don't want any false or early starts.
You do need momentum to get to stand up, though. You can't stand up on a dead in the water board, can you?
No. You want to be starting, like you said, on the belly, gaining some momentum, essentially sort of where the board just wants to rise, and then it's going to your knees. You can see they start on their bellies for quite some time, and then from there you'll come to your knees. But that process from going to your belly up to standing up should happen very, very quickly. And what you'll also find is that when they stand up on these boards, they pretty much go right to the front, because as soon as that board comes out of the water and that foil rises, they want to keep that weight forward so that the board doesn't breach. And then from there, once they're up and riding on the foil, you tend to see a little bit of foot movement, a little bit further back on the board, especially to have a bit more of, let's say, an even balance, more so around the turns. When they put the throttle on and go down the straights, you might find the riders just edge a little bit further forward, because obviously with more pace, that can create more lift.
So red flag is up on the boat. And green flag now rises, and we are off and running. I think Dom got a better start there.
Yeah,
No
he's
yellow
already
flag on the board, so we are running.
Yeah, nice start there from Dom. Pretty much straight onto his feet.
So this is Dom Hoskins with the white helmet, foil drive into the first turn on the far left of the beach. He's got the 3 hairpins as his first 3 turns. This with the orange helmet. Oh, we have got a false start. Takes him a long time to get that flag up. Right, false start going back to the boat. I have a feeling that Max was ahead in front of the line at the start. So we're going to go again.
Yeah, green flag down. So it looks like we're going to be going back into sequence.
Well, Antonio, just briefing our athletes once again. And I think Max was just a fraction in front of the line. He had quite a good technique, what the sort of technique you'd see in sailing, where he was accelerating towards the line and then sort of curved away from the line, turned away. I think he was just overlapping the line when he did that. So we're going to go again with this next race. It's a brand new format. It's a brand new tour, SFT. And so we are still in the early stages. Of course, this is the open men rather than the pros. So many of these competitors are doing it for the first time. And almost all of the competitors are not pro athletes. So red flag once again on the back of the boat. A little bit of momentum from the yellow helmet and over the line, and the green flag goes up. And I think that is good. Race control happy with that one. So off to the left-hand side goes Max Domijan, and closest towards us is Dom Hoskins, with those 3 hairpin turns to deal with. Heel side for the first one for Dom, then toe side and back to heel side. You can see the line left in the water from his foil drive. That's really cool to see. And how close is this going to be when they come to the crossing point, which is half a lap into the race? Let's have a look. Round the hairpin and towards the committee boat for the orange helmeted Max Domijan, and he crosses past before Dom Hoskins. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's got an advantage, because it could be that the left-hand side of the course is shorter than the right, or vice versa. Lots of wide berth from Max Domijan. Oh, and Dom goes into the water and swimming. Hoskins is down. Huge advantage then for Max Domijan here. He's about to complete a full lap, but he has the possibility of falling as well. And Dom back up on his feet quite quickly, so there won't be any red flag, any black flag being held. But coming to complete lap 1, over the line comes Max Domijan. Where here is Dom Hoskins, and he is yet to finish his first full lap. That's the only time you will really know how close one another is to each other. But we do know for sure it's advantage to Max right now, because Dom has gone swimming. Over the line for lap number 1 for Dom Hoskins. And he is quite a way behind. Watching now the orange helmet. It's his to lose. Max Domijan just needs to stay up. Was he aware that Dom had fallen? Oh dear, just losing the foil a little bit. Now comes towards the line. And that's another half a lap done for Max. He's only got half a lap to go now. And he's still definitely with the advantage over Dom Hoskins, who won the foil drive division in Lake Garda a few months ago, where we had 4 competitors using the foil drive. And of course, desperate, because it's a different technology, to not necessarily have it lined up against the other technologies. But it is going to be victory for the orange helmet. Max Domijan, he's only got this last turn to do. right at the back of the water, comes around that and now down towards the committee boat. And our camera that's on that committee boat, he just gives himself a little bit of a wide berth, comes across the line, and that is Max Domijan who takes the win. And it is going to be Dom Hoskins who will complete a little bit later. And unfortunately, with that drop, with that fall, Dom Hoskins is eliminated out of the competition. Right, we move on then to the second of our heats. And for the first time in the competition, we meet Witold Abramovic. He was the first rider to run yesterday in our time trial, which set the seeding for this knockout competition. And he will be going up against Semyon Kalicek. One athlete getting into the water now, number 33, that's Witold. Now, Semyon has the experience already of running one of these races, having progressed through. But there is no sign of him on the water as yet. Problem is, there's very little information for these athletes to understand who is next up. And we know that Semyon is about, because he is, yeah, there he is. He's in the, he's obviously just not aware that he's supposed to be taking part in this next heat. Looks like we've now located Semyon. So it's going to be Russia versus Poland, two athletes from the Dubai Water Club. And I think that was a practice start from Witold. He's disappeared off our screens. I see the green flag is up. I'm sure race control didn't start the race. What on earth is going on?
Okay.
Hello, Liam.
I've tried to get my head around the messy start, let's say, that we've got going on here, and it's it's a little bit of confusion down on the beach. We are in the open division, and for a lot of these riders, I would say it is their first time ever doing sort of competition or doing styles of racing, and there's just a little bit of a, let's say, a slow start. Of the morning, they're not quite understanding the sequence of checking in, making sure that they are the next rider to go in. So we're seeing some riders prepared, like we saw number 33 here waiting on the start line, while number 13 was on the beach having a chit chat. So a little bit of a slow start.
Yeah, and I think weirdly they've just started the race whilst 13 was getting into the water. So we haven't really had a proper start, but we are racing here.
No, I mean 13 is. He's going to be behind, let's say.
Well, he's not. I don't think he's that far behind. I actually think he had quite good momentum. He got out of the water, crossed the start line, off he went, and he had quite good momentum rather than the sort of the standing start situation that we had before. But he crossed the line. He did start. We've got one lap completed now from Witold in the downhill helmet, who helps develop this Mantra foil with the boss. Thomas, who is also on the beach today. So that's one full lap completed. Yes, you're right. Semyon is behind, because Semyon now comes over the line to complete his first lap. Much faster race than we had previously. But it is advantage to Witold. He's got his wife here with us as well, racing in the women's division. Quite a few of our athletes sharing boards with their wives. Quite cool to see. Family affair for the Barbiers as well.
Yeah, they're all here, aren't they? A weekend down in Fahid Island.
There isn't a junior category, otherwise they would have entered the youngest.
Yeah, no, there is no youth
Not
eFoil
yet.
championship. Not yet, yeah, that's correct. Not yet.
So half a lap coming up to be completed by Semyon. Has he got enough pace on his Audi foil to be able to chase down Witold? I don't think he is. He's too far behind. A couple of fishing boats on a Sunday off the shore here.
Nice little view of the course, as you can see.
Oh, somebody down, and that must be Semyon down in the water. Yeah. So Witold's coming up towards the line now, and he's going to complete. He's going to finish. We're going to show you a replay of what happened to Semyon whilst Witold takes the flag. But there is finally undoing all of the work.
Okay, so a clean finish there. Now let's see. We're going to go into sequence for the next heat. And I can see here number 39 making their way out into the water. That's the sort of start we want.
Well, 39 is Timoshin Gulichan.
Yeah, both right. And Alan Fedit.
And it's going to be Alan Fedit alongside him.
I see both riders making their way into the water now.
Witold doing a backflip to celebrate his victory and his progression through to the semi-finals.
I'd be a bit concerned if Alan was confused with all of his background on the GWA.
Let's not forget, though, while he is a legend of foil sports, we saw yesterday that he is a rookie when it comes to e-foiling.
I didn't say that.
No, I think that's completely fair.
But I actually spoke to Alan this morning. He was saying that this is like the first time that he's gone on the e-foil, despite all of his wing foiling experience and podium finishes on the tour there. He's pretty much a newbie when it comes to the e-foil.
I guess that's Timuçin Gülcan. My Turkish friends in my ear may be able to confirm that. And Alan Fedit. See, I've learned Turkish overnight. Right, we are going racing. We've got the red flag up, so 10 seconds to go. 5 seconds now as the red flag drops. Alan's going to come from quite a way back to have a decent momentum when he gets to the line, and it's going to be slight advantage to Timuçin, but he has less speed as he comes over the line here. Yeah,
they're both getting up on the board actually quite late. Not the quickest start from either one of these riders, but they're now both up on the foil.
It's Alan who's coming towards us.
Correct.
And Timuçin who's going away from us at this stage.
Yeah.
Here is those dreadlocked, well, it's not quite dreadlocked hair, but nearly dreadlocked hair of Alan Fedit from Fréjus in France. And we've been missing Alan from the competitions over the last couple of months after him and his wife have given birth to a newborn baby of just 2 months old now.
Yeah, he's back on tour now, though.
The whole family here this weekend. I tried to do that same thing with my family and have a week away here, but it was resisted.
Look how far forward that front foot is there on that board. Really,
but
right out the front.
Flying past the line.
A really nice section there on the course.
Now, half a lap gone from both of our athletes.
Looks pretty tight to me, Ben.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say.
Oh,
no! Down in the water goes Timuçin. Alan's still up on the board in surfer mode. And now needs to look over his shoulder and see that Timuçin's in the water. It doesn't need to push because he's gone way too fast.
Yeah, Alan's gone really wide here as well.
Here's Timuçin's dismount.
He's back on foil now, though. Alan
doing
gone very wide.
Yeah.
So, yes, when you fall, it's obviously not the ideal situation to be in, but, if your competitor's going super wide around the turns, there's definitely seconds to be made up there.
So it is Alan Fedit who is ahead right now, over the line, but not a massive advantage. And Timuçin is going to come across to finish his first lap. We haven't got live timing here, but I think maybe 15 seconds back there. And any mistake from Alan Fedit, and it could switch the other way around, because we've seen how good this man is in a straight line.
Yeah, he's got the speed in the straight lines. Alan still having a smooth lap as well.
Timochin now comes down towards these tricky 3 hairpins for him to Luca's right on the beach. Whereas Alan has already got through the same mirrored turns, Luca's left on the beach. And heading back down towards completing half a lap. It is going to get tighter and tighter because here comes the number 39. Alan has crossed the line with half a lap still remaining. And here comes 39 now.
Oh,
what a dismount. Right on the line, right in front of the committee boat. Hasn't quite got over the line there. We was just saying how good he was in a straight line.
It's always the way, though, isn't it? When you say something and then it goes the opposite way.
So Alan Fedit here is going to win this round, and that is not something I think he would have been expecting. Here's the replay of the dismount.
What happened here?
It just got low in the water.
Yeah, just a bit too much front foot pressure. Nose of the board dive down and
boom.
Eject.
Yeah. And unfortunately, is he up in the water? Yes, he's just getting back up on the water. So there won't be a black flag, but Alan Fedit comes towards the line and takes victory in his elimination and moves towards the semi-finals.
Quite a nice little technique there as well, putting the hand on the front of the board, pushing the board down.
Quite sort of surfer-like.
Yeah, he's got the surfer feel, the surfer vibe.
And so that is heat number 3 of round number 2 done. And we're going to progress through to the final of our heats. Yeah. And the number 1 seed from our previous time trial, Renaud Barbier, Daddy Barbier. Again, all those e-foil brands in Dubai being represented. Renaud with the Manta T-shirt in the registration area.
So there he is, number 27, Renaud. And we've seen Amazing already compete a few heats ago.
Yeah, on his own, though, on that lift board. And we did see how much he struggled, if you remember. He didn't have to complete a lap. He just had to start that previous race, whereas he did struggle to complete 2 laps in the previous race.
It looks like we're waiting still for Amazing.
He was late in the water last time.
And he's going to be late again.
Doesn't seem like race control are that bothered. They're just going to carry on regardless. And they're going to go through sequence. And if you miss the start, then...
Yeah, completely. I mean, part of it is it's the you as a rider on the beach. You need to be checking into the race team that's both on the beach and on the boat. We can go down on the beach, check the ladders, see where you are. And then it's your responsibility to make sure that you are on the track, ready to go by the time that those flags are being raised. Because it's green flag now already, and there's just one person in the water. So
just needs to start.
Yep.
And Renaud is going to be through. His son already through, and there we go. Gone through the protocol. Actually, got a yellow flag.
Yeah.
Don't know whether that's a yellow flag. Presumably that's a yellow flag of. Not a jump start, but a yellow flag in terms of, we're cancelling that race. So that's our round number 2 done and dusted, and I would be expecting that we would go down to the beach and hear from Joe, who will be able to speak to some of our athletes and find out how they're getting on, but who knows? We'll be moving into the semi-finals next. And we will see Renaud Barbier, Alan Fedit, Witold, who won heat number 2, and was it Max Domijan who won heat number 1, I think. So, into the water already, rolling through to the semi-finals. Max Domijan and Witold Abramovich. both athletes in the water then. And Witold and Max Domijan. Max with the orange helmet, number 8. He's going to be heading to Luca's right across the beach. Witold is going to be heading left and closest to the committee boat for the semi-final, heat number 1.
So I did find out then as well that I did find out that when that yellow flag goes up, if there's one person in the water and one rider's missing, it's going to be going in sequence as usual. But then as soon as they cross the line, it's just going to be yellow flag up, you're the winner, and then we'll move on. So the sequence will stay even if there's one rider on the water, but if they're not joined, then straight away yellow flag goes up, heat abandoned, and that rider will move on forward in the competition.
Well, the riders have been very efficient in the water to get themselves ready for this next race, but I think Joe has been less efficient and is now interrupting the competition by taking away our camera and getting ourselves an interview. So I think we're now waiting on an interview from Joe rather than from running the race, because we've got both athletes in the water. They're both ready to go. Committee boat is ready to go. I'm just trying to see whether I can see Joe down there. He seems to have somebody with him.
Looks like he does down there by the entry to the pontoon. But it's always good to connect and try and chat with the riders, pick their brains a little bit on some of the setups or what's to come for them in this comp. Bit of a patience game here, as we will be moving into our semi-finals of the Open Men. Then we're going to be going over to the Pro Women, who did their time trials alongside the men yesterday, and then we go over to the Pro Men. So everyone was competing together yesterday in the time trials, where they had 2 laps on exactly the same course. The fastest lap was done by Justin Chape with a 1 minute and 6 second lap, and then the top were qualifying for the Pro. We're currently sitting in the Open. And then we go over to the woman. The quickest woman, I believe, was Agnes from Sweden. And she'll be looking to try and take a title here in Abu Dhabi. And it looks like we're going to be joined with an interview in a second with Manel Arpa, one of the riders for Lift Foils. And he's going to be joining Joe, by the looks of things, down on the beach.
Yeah, so he's a pro, so got lots of time on his hands because he's not competing until quite a lot later on. But not really relevant to this competition right now.
All right, so welcome everybody down here on the beach with Manuel Arpa. Congratulations, yesterday you had the 2nd best qualifying time and now getting ready for elimination rounds.
Yeah, yesterday was great. The conditions are looking prime today again. Big congrats to all the event organizers, like everything's looking on point, and this is going to be a dream spot for the next years to come. I'm going to be riding the 4.8 Lift X. I'm using the Lift 5 engine because it has a little bit more power. And just can't wait today for the final competitions, the final stop of the Surf World Tour, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, no, conditions looking very nice. It's definitely hot. The water is nice and flat. Tell me a little bit about Abu Dhabi, because obviously you've been here already a couple of days.
So Abu Dhabi is a great location for e-foil and for water sports. What they're trying to build here, I think it's a great location for it. And the tides going up and down, that changed a little bit in terms of wind conditions. So hopefully they will be able to run some kite on the afternoon. But here for e-foiling, it's great, and you can find a lot of e-foil dealers in Dubai, and hopefully they're going to be coming to Abu Dhabi very soon.
Well, thank you very much, Manuel. Good luck out there. Back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Joe. Good to catch up there with one of the pro riders, Manel, who will be looking to give Justin a run for his money. We'll see if those two will meet themselves in the latter stages of the pro competition. But we're now going to be going back into sequence on the semi-finals of the Open Men. They've actually been waiting a couple minutes now to get started. We've got number 32, I believe, out there on the water.
33.
33.
So Witold
Witold.
Abramovich, and he'll go up in semi-final number 1 against Max Domijan. So Max is starting by at the top of the course. He's just repositioning himself away from the line so he can get a bit more of a run-up. Can't cross that line of 3 white boys before the green flag. Red flag is up, which means 10 seconds. When it drops, 5 seconds remaining. Witold's going to be quite close to the line here. He's trying to get a bit tight, and it's very close, but I think it is good.
Yeah, it's good.
And Witold heads off left with Max heading off right.
Yeah, Max has got a quicker start. He's just up to his feet a lot quicker. You can already see there getting to that top mark already.
Now, we saw the Max was very, very strong, but he did really win his heat because of the dismount from Dom Hoskins.
Yeah.
Witold beating Semyon. But, I mean, the way that these two ride, you would have to say that Max Domijan does look the stronger. He's the more dynamic, but perhaps he's the more risk taker as well. Oh, Witold's in the water.
No.
And that does hand advantage to Max Domijan. He comes across the line to complete his first half a lap then. And the Argentinian with an advantage.
Yeah, and he's gaining ground here on that straight. I mean, that's where you want to see your opponent go down. When you can go full throttle down the straight.
And now he needs to go slightly less full throttle and be careful, because a swim will cost him potentially a win, whereas just going slowly and being careful for the rest of this course, he could progress towards the final.
Yeah, it's about finding the sweet spot, finding the middle ground between pushing the limits a little bit, but staying up on that foil and keeping a clean lap together.
Into these hairpins. Just the 2 hillside hairpins for Witold. Oh, he's gone again right in front of everybody on the beach. It's going to not cost him too much time, but Witold having a bit of a mare here, the Polish Manta foil rider.
Yeah, Max is creeping up. You can see there with the drone shot. He's only 2 boys now behind. It is that hairpinning.
Only 2 boys behind on the water, but actually, over half a lap ahead in total. Witold comes over the line now. That's a completion of lap number 1 for the Polish rider.
Yeah, Max went a little bit wide there as well.
Max, the Argentinian, is going to complete in a few moments' time a lap and a half. And that, therefore, shows you just how much of an advantage Witold has. trying to egg on. I know he's
posing for the camera. He's posing for the camera.
It's not a win, though. I hope he doesn't think it is a win, because he's not there yet.
No, he just wants his good pick for Instagram, mate.
Pretty careful, pretty wide. Oh, and Witold's down in the water for a 3rd time. Now, one of the regulations that I read was if you crashed 3 times, you would be black flagged. I don't know whether that is actually the case. I didn't hear that regulation being stated this morning in the riders' briefing, but it was in the notes at the start of the week. That's his 3rd dismount, but it doesn't really matter, because right behind him, in with the orange helmet, here comes Max Domijan, and this will be progress into the final for the Argentinian. Over the line, isn't quite short.
Yeah, he should be chasing still.
No, that's the end of lap 2, so that's done. He has taken the victory. And he comes towards the beach. And so we will progress through into the second of our semi-finals. And that will be Renaud Barbier and Alan Fedit. Witold's dismount, number 3. And he was fast yesterday. And we didn't see this level of disruption from him. So the pressure of racing, unfortunately, getting to our Polish rider. The rail of the board there, catching the water, slowing him down, and then puts him off balance. Semi-final number 2. I can see both of our French-based riders heading out onto the water. Alain Fedit and Renaud Barbier. Now, Fedit, I think, is the faster of these two, but he's far less experienced on an e-foil. Renaud, so far when we've seen him out there, and he didn't get a chance to race in round number 1 or round number 2, so far we've seen him very steady, very solid. Looks like Alan is going up to start towards Luca's right, whereas Renaud has taken the start line closest to the committee boat, and he will be going off to Luca's left from the beach. Red flag is already up, so we are getting close to a start. Green flag up, and Alan gets the better start. He's closer to the line than Renaud, but slower up onto the foil, and Renaud's got himself up onto the foil quicker and heads down towards the first hairpin turn on Luca's left of the beach. It's faster and easier to get going from the second start position for me.
What would you rather do?
I definitely would want to be further away and heading up onto a less acute angle for turn number 1.
Oof.
Oh, Alan Fedit off balance and therefore nowhere near the marks that he needs to be, giving a lot of water to the turn marks. Again, a little bit unstable, but it's fast. He's going to come across the halfway point of his lap, and I think he's going to be slightly ahead of Renaud Barbier.
It's interesting, though, watching Alan now in the last couple of heats. You know, you've seen him already compete today. Already now in this next heat looks more comfortable with being on the e-foil. It's a little bit new to him, but you know, you can see every time he's on the water getting quicker and quicker.
Renaud Barbier, furthest point of the course. That's very static position that we see from him and his wife. They absolutely do not like to move on their boards whatsoever. Full concentration, carries nice momentum into the turns. Now he's made life quite tricky for him on that hairpin, so has to slow down, but it's neat and tidy from Renaud Barbier at the top of your screen. And as we come to the proper comparison here, because this is the end of lap number 1, who is it going to be across the line? Alan Fedit is across the line before Renaud Barbier. Here's Barbier across the line now, and Fedit is already in the background. So this is an advantage to Alan Fedit. Would you believe it could be Alan Fedit going towards the Open Men's Final?
Yeah, he'll take that any day of the week. This is a nice race because it's keeping it nice and tight. Both riders gradually as well as this race is going on. They're getting more and more comfortable. Alan here just going a little bit wider when I look out the window, but his competitor now on that hairpin section as well.
Oh, look, I mean, the line from Alan Fedit is messy. He's had to go really, really far and covered a lot more ground than he would have wanted. But he's kept the speed up, now into that surfer position towards the line. Half a lap to go for Alan Fedit, and Renaud Barbier is solid, but he needs to really start to ask more of himself now as he comes across the line for 1/2 a lap remaining.
Yeah, any fall now is going to be costly for either rider.
Alan just looks absolutely on the edge of control, doesn't
does
he? But he's
that.
okay with that. Good look at the underside of that Manta foil board and the battery pack. That's that big silver block under his right foot. A lot of work going on from his balance point of view. I don't know whether Renaud Barbier may have caught up some ground here.
Yeah, that's pretty fluid going in that hairpin there.
This is going to be really tight. We are coming towards the line now. Alan Fedit's coming closer to the line, though. It's going to be Alan Fedit who's going to take the victory out of my window. Fedit has taken the victory, and Barbier is going to be second.
Nice to see both of the riders sharing the stoke there when they cross. But great ride there from Alan. That's an open final for him.
It was pretty close, though. And I reckon Renaud had it in him if he just asked a little bit more of himself. Just pushed a little bit harder. Unfortunately for him, that was his first race of the day because he got a bye from the 2 rounds previously. So not a huge amount of experience, but he's got his memories on his GoPro. That big orange block on his head. His camera. And so we'll have to reset again because the finals, well, we're going to have a mini final. We've got a mini final. So we will see Renaud Barbier again. He'll go up against Witold Abramovich. Alan Fedit will go up against Max Domijan in the final of the Open Men. Looks like no athletes in the water at the moment. Mini-final before final, presumably. So just waiting on race... Well, actually, I know what race control are waiting on. Race control are waiting on our friend Joe to do an interview, because that's the slot. This is the slot in which he's supposed to be doing his interviews. So no instructions being given to anybody in the water as yet. Those are many of our pro category races. But we will be seeing... back in the water, Witold Abramovich, and he will go up against Renaud Barbier. So that is number 33 we're looking out for, and number 27. I can see that Renaud is down on the beach. Now, it looks like he's doing a bit of a technical tweak to his... Is he changing batteries, Liam? Can you see out the window there? He's got some tools out.
Yeah, no, he's not changing batteries. It looks like he's changing...
You can see him on our screen here. He's on his knees.
But he's using the foil drive, I believe.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, actually, no. So he does look like he's changing his battery.
Yeah, we've got a close-up now.
Yeah.
So that's a much smaller battery pack on that one to some of the other boards that we saw, which is pretty much a full block of silver across the whole compartment. So, yeah, new battery.
Yeah, and you can see there it slots into the top of the board where the mast insert is. And actually, that board, as you can see... is made, I believe that might be an apple tree one, where they've actually created an indent within the board where the foil drive can sit in, and that actually reduces drag as well, because beforehand you would stick that battery pack sort of just on the mast and then it would connect up to the board as well, which had a little bit of drag. But we're going to be moving over to the mini.
So how long does the battery last then?
With the foil drive. So I haven't used the foil drives personally too much. But I mean, he's had that on for a couple of races now, and he's had to change the battery. I do know that, for example, the Lift 5s and the Lift X, you get roughly around 60 minutes on the Lift X and about 90 minutes or more on the Lift 5, similar to probably the majority of the other brands out there as well. But it also does come down to your riding style, where you're riding, your weight, because obviously the motors sometimes got to work a little bit harder. People want different sort of speeds. But it's just finding the sweet spot. But I would say, with the racing, they're probably riding, at a faster pace. So the battery's got to work a little bit harder. But yeah, that's roughly, I would say, the time that you get from each unit.
There are the two athletes that are heading out into the water. You can see the slight differences on Witold's kit with his drive attached at the very base, right behind the foils themselves. That would be interesting because the foils themselves are going to create a track through the water, and then you've got the drive in that same track, whereas Renault's drive is in a different plane to where the foil is.
Exactly. And it's going to be 3 laps as well from this mini-final and final onwards.
Even more opportunities to fall off for Witold. I don't know if that three falls rule is being used.
Well, we might find out here.
But, Renault, we haven't seen Renault fall once, have we? He's got
his hair dry, mate.
Yeah, he has got a hair dry.
I also went in earlier when it was absolutely lush in there. Like, it's super water.
Okay.
It's like a big bathtub. So riders now around the start line, getting ready. There you go, red flag, so we're pretty much going to go into sequence.
Yeah, look how close Witold is to the line,
he's
though.
right on it.
He really doesn't want to be there. And green flag goes up, and I think that could be a yellow flag as well. Yes, it is. Witold crossed the line before, so they are going to go back to start once again. He was very close to it, and actually Lucas was telling me, the cameraman there, that yellow blob in the water, that is our photographer. Yeah. Apparently there is a decent amount of current, and he has to keep himself paddling at all times. It doesn't look like there is, and certainly on the buoys there's nothing. But that current obviously just carrying Witold just a little bit over the line. The line is not as straight as you would imagine. There's Lucas. Good morning, Lucas. Big yellow helmet so he doesn't get run over.
Yeah, Lucas, he's done a few events with us this year. He was over in Silt, so I can imagine he probably prefers being in these waters than the cold.
Apparently he's having to put water in his wetsuit to cool himself down rather than to stay warm. But he stays in the water so often that he would shrivel to a date if he didn't wear a wetsuit. So Witold with a different philosophy for this one. He's a bit further back from the line. Renault with some momentum. Green flag is up.
Yeah, good start from
And that's
Renault
a good
there.
start from both of them. Bit difficult to understand because there isn't really there is a line, but it's not quite particularly straight. Massively flat water today. Not a whisper on the water, but it tends to blow up a little bit later on. So if we are going to have some wind sports, it won't be until about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon when the wind starts to pick up. Stay across all of our different channels, GWA, GKA, as well as SFT for the action. We've got, am I right in saying we've got Wakefoil coming up next weekend?
Yeah, next weekend we've got the Wakefoil along the SFT, so that'll be interesting, behind the boat and harnessing the waves from there.
Is that a freestyle thing? You make tricks?
Yeah, I mean, they can do definitely, using the sort of the wake of the boat to either hop between one side of the wake to the other or, do freestyle tricks on one side.
Quite close between our two athletes here. Renault with a slight advantage at the halfway point of lap number 1. A reminder, this is going to be 3 laps in total.
That'll be a leg burner.
Yeah, so the last time that there was an e-foil competition in this region in Dubai, they had an endurance race, which went on for half an hour.
Legs like tree trunks at the end.
God, can't imagine. I wonder if you could have like a pit stop within it, so whoever parked up longest.
Yeah, like a battery pit stop as well,
Renault with that new battery, just trying to extract every bit of performance and get that 3rd position, that bronze medal, over the line. So that is 1 lap completed, and Renault is ahead of Witold. But there's Witold going over the line now. I would say there's only a second or 2 between them. This could really go either way, and Witold has held himself out of the water right now. We had 3 dismounts in the previous race, but nothing so far.
Smooth operators. This is the battle for 3rd and 4th place. That's what the mini final means. It's essentially a podium place, which is always nice.
Presumably prize money is split across the podium positions.
Exactly, yeah, and you get yourself a bronze medal as well. Always nice to go home with a little bit of a medal or a prize, but
no, Witold goes down. So that very much now is advantage to Renault Barbier.
Yeah, and all he's got to do now is just keep it together, keep a nice smooth ride going. Witold flying through this section, the fastest section on the course, I would say. Where you're really able to give it some welly down this straight. A good chance to make up a bit of ground.
Here's Renault on Lucas' right, heading towards these hairpins, and seems to have good momentum here. Looks starting to feel a little bit more fluid than we saw on yesterday's time trial. He was very rigid when he was doing that. Here he looks as though he's taken inspiration from some of our pro competitors and got himself a little bit more relaxed. He comes across the line, and that is another lap done.
Yep, another lap now.
So that's lap 2, yeah?
We're just coming up now to the final lap.
So this is on to the final lap for Renault.
Yep.
And now Witold.
Just crossed his, so now
So
beginning
even
his.
with that dismount, he's not that far behind.
Yeah, but I think he's got a little bit more grunt with, obviously having the bigger battery and let's say the e-foil setup, that 4-drive and accessory with a battery that's not as big. And you can see it on the straights when they're really giving it a lot. The Witold is going a little bit faster, and that's where he's making up that ground on those straights.
Nice and tight for Witold, who's got the board in the water closest to us.
Yeah, he's definitely making up a little bit of ground.
It's still maybe not going to be quite enough.
It's going to be tight.
Comes down across a flying finish. Half a lap to go then in this mini final. Who's it going to be? Witold Abramovich from Poland or Renaud Barbier from France? Barbier only with a couple more hairpins to go. And it absolutely has the advantage now. A little bit direct into that heel side hairpin. One final hairpin remains. Looking out my window to see whether Witold is going to be in contention. I don't think he is. It's going to be France. It's going to be Renaud Barbier who takes third position in the open category. And there it is. Solid day's work from Renaud Barbier. He's going to miss out on victory. He's going to miss out on second position, but he will be on the podium. And he's going to join either, well, he's going to join both Max Domijano and Alain Fedit.
Mm-hmm.
So we will have two Frenchmen on the podium. And we will find out in just a few moments who it will be. Shows how much crashing costs you. Witold would have been in with contention had he not dismounted.
Just the one crash as well, wasn't it? That's all it needs.
Don't know how you dry that downhill mountain biking helmet. It's going to be a right nightmare, although we are, I suppose, we are in the Middle East. Just leave it outside.
35 degrees for like 5 minutes, you'll be good to go.
Yeah, just leave it outside.
Yeah, that was a big dismount as well. You know, one thing's falling off, and then you've got to swim to your board. You know, these riders, they're not wearing leashes.
No.
For obvious reasons. I mean, safety side, you don't really want to be having that foil, you know, your board snapped back into you. Because one thing is the foil, but also, like, it's a pretty robust board. You know, they're pretty heavy. They're, like, you know, sturdy stuff. But, hey, we have the men's open final. Max Domijano against Alain Fedit. First time competing in E4 for Alain. Who's going to take it? Place your bets. Let us know in the comment section who you think is going to win this second. And then we're going to be moving over to the Pro Women's division before then shifting our attention onto the Pro Men.
Max Domijano, the manager of E-Surf Watersports in Dubai. An engineer. This is engineer versus engineer, isn't it? Because Alain Fedit also an engineer for AFS. Max Domijano also an engineer in e-foiling. From Mar del Plata in Argentina originally, before being one of the many expats. And we are green flag and go. Orange helmet for Max Domijano. Alain Fedit heading to Luca's left. And they're both up on the foils now.
This is going to be a good one. So here we go. Max crossing that first white mark. Alain also doing the same. Looks like Max might just have an edge. Got a little wide there.
What we know is Alain Fedit is on the limit of his capabilities and his limited experience of e-foiling. Loves this crouch position when he gets onto a straight, but when he has to then get himself back up, he has to get back up with equal sort of balance. Oh, great job at keeping that thing from not bucking him off. Here comes Max across the line, and it's very
head
close.
And head. Yeah, it's neck and neck as they come halfway point on their section.
That's half a lap done then. Alain Fedit is on Luca's right now, so closest to the drone. Furthest away is Max Domijano. Starting to settle down for Alain Fedit. He's starting to really understand the balance that's needed. Max Domijano is looking like he's working far less hard on staying upright.
Yeah, he's also on that smaller kit, which you can see is a little bit more nimble around the turns. Alain at times just looked like he could go at any minute.
Yeah.
You know, any second he's just going to be bucked off that e-foil.
Another splash down and almost having to go onto the beach to get round that hairpin. Looking at his controller to see if he can get even more speed out of it.
He's just ahead. Alan's just ahead, you can see.
And that is 1 lap completed of 3. Fedit with the advantage over Domijan.
I'd say Fedit's around maybe a second and a half just ahead.
Is Fedit going to be able to survive another 2 laps, though? That's it. He's fast, but gosh, it looks fragile. Max Domijan here, looking chilled. Constant adjustments in the ankles, in the feet, in the toes.
Yeah, the weight distribution is a massive thing, you know, just, you know, one slight, you know, maybe a bit too far forward or, you know, leaning into the turn a bit too much can cause you to come straight off your board. And Alan here locked in on the straight. Definitely ahead now. He's gained a few more seconds, I would say.
Domijan behind, but that is half a lap, so we're not totally sure if there is a slight difference in the 2 courses. It might be a slight advantage one side to the other, so that is a difficult comparison to make. It's the next lap there's a comparison that's more accurate. And again, Fedit trying to carry all the speed, but then has to go so wide and struggling to keep balance. Now this is the comparison that we want. And actually, I think Fedit here has got a big advantage over Max Domijan. He comes across the line first. Yeah, and there is, where's Max? Where's Max? Where's Max? There is Max. Gosh, 4, 5, 6 seconds back with 1 more lap to go now. 1 full tour. Alan needs to, I think Alan needs to start to throttle back a little bit.
Yeah, and Max has actually gone pretty wide here after that halfway point. He's managed to all keep it together, nearly going in with the nose. Alan coming through that hairpin section.
A little splash down through that right-hander. Now to the slightly easier right-hander at the back, furthest away from the beach. Max Domijan is closest to the beach right now. A splash down for him, but keeps standing up. He'll be able to look over his shoulder. Worst thing about this competition is you can see your rival ahead.
Looks like Max has made a little bit of ground, but
he's still behind.
Yeah, he's still a good 5 seconds behind.
He's seen Alan Fedit cross that virtual line before him. Alan's still playing around with his controller. He's still trying to extract a bit more speed. I think I'd be backing it off if I was him. Just, you know, cruise to the line. Here he is in this tricky hairpin section.
Oh, nice turn.
That's better from him, but he's got a lot of speed, nearly taking out the marker. He's going to have to go very wide. Oh, I thought that was him dropping into the water. It wasn't quite. But here he comes towards the line now, and it is going to be Alan Fedit who takes victory in the open category of our E-Foil World Tour. Max Domijan in second position, and Renaud Barbier in the earlier competition takes third. But the start of something new for Alan Fedit. Now he's a dad, and he's in the world of e-foiling, and he is the victor.
That was a solid race there. Nice to see it sort of change from lap 1 to 2 to 3. Super tight after the first lap. Alan just coming away with a few seconds after lap number 2. And then once that sort of halfway point was through lap number 2, we knew it was pretty much over if we could keep it together.
I'd love to see what he could do if he then progressed into the pro men. Got 8 pro men, the fastest 8 men from our time trials coming up a bit later on. But the progression from that man across from yesterday to today is quite remarkable.
Yeah. Good to see. And it looks like there's a bunch of them sharing that setup.
We should be going down to the beach to have an interview with Dro, but I'm not sure whether he's yet ready. I can see the cameraman still on the boat, so it'll be great to hear from Alan, because of course this is a brand new sport for him, a brand new discipline, so celebrated and medalled in the world of foiling, with a wing in his hand, but with a controller in his hand, it's a bit of a different story. And we will hopefully hear from him. Yeah, we're going to hear
from Alan. We're actually going to try and grab him, I believe, after the next heat, which will be the women's heat, just while he, gets himself ready.
So whilst we are waiting for that to happen, we will take a short break and be back with you for the women's category next. The beautiful Fahid Island is our host for a 9-day water sports festival. And we have a first victor, a first champion in the open division here in the e-foiling World Tour. Let's go down to Joe, who has Alan Fedit alongside him.
Alan, number 1 El Capitan, congratulations, mate.
Yeah, thank you. I made it. It's the second time on the e-foil now. So yeah, we had like 2 laps, then 3 laps. So sometimes 2 training. So it was super fun. And yeah, I made it. The water is glassy. There is no wind. So to go in the water with an e-foil, it's perfect.
I mean, there's also a special new member in the family who has been watching you from the beach. How is it to take the event win and, of course, your daughter Marley to be watching? That's got to be special.
Yeah, the daughter is not sleeping at night, so it's a bit tricky then when you go in the water. But yeah, I made it for like 2 girls, and I'm super happy about it.
Well, congratulations, Alan. You are the Open Men E4 winner here in Abu Dhabi. Oh, there you go. As we move on, back to you, boys.
Thanks very much, Joe. Always good to hear from the winner. And there we have Alan Fedit winning the Open. So a smile on his face, and we'll see him again in action later on during this water sports festival. He will be competing over on the free fly slalom with the wingfoilers, who will be joining us in the middle of next week. But now we move and shift our attention over to the pro women.
We will have a round number 1, and then the semi-finals, and then the finals. And Alan Fedit's baby taking his first swimming lessons, age 2 months old. I think that might be.
Be on an e-foil soon.
Yeah, just put him on the board, find the equilibrium, and then press the throttle. Off we go. How far does the Bluetooth work distance-wise from the board? You have to be really close.
Yeah, you've got to be pretty close.
You can't send it off.
Not quite.
Okay. Bad idea anyway. Natalia Tarasenko and Celine Piskner will be our first 2 athletes out on the water, both wives of men that we've already seen. No, we haven't actually seen Natalie's husband, because he's ended up in the pro category. So Celine Piskner, getting my Turkish pronunciations bang on. And they are at the line. Well, I say they are at the line. We've got one woman at the line and the green flag is up. So is that race started and finished already?
Well, we're seeing, let's wait and see if we see that yellow flag. If it comes up, but the green flag is still up. So it looks like we are race on.
Well, that's Celine, but Natalia Tarasenko, I think,
there.
is the one that's missing.
On the drone.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Didn't see her at the start.
And sometimes it's quite hard on the drone as well, because they're just little dots, especially when they're on foil and they've not got anything that you can sort of see behind. If you're on the right-hand side there, it just sort of a moving black figure.
So, seed number 3 from the women's was Natalia. Celine was 6th position. Having a quick look at her controller, see if she's got the settings set correctly. And it is number 22 that is with the advantage. So that is Natalia. Here is Celine, who's got a really great posture coming down towards the line.
Yeah, I reckon she could go up a couple notches on the old speed there, especially on the straight.
She's quite low in the water, even flat out. And so she is going to be losing ground, potentially, to Natalia, who's in her hairpin section there at the right of shot. Just remember, this is 2 laps back now in round number 1, our quarterfinals for the women's.
So far, no falls from either one of them, keeping it together nicely.
Classic. Women are just better at not overstepping the limits, aren't they? Us men are just stupid. Over the line then to complete, is that one full lap?
One full lap.
For Natalia.
So another one of those, and she will be the rider that takes the victory here.
Yeah, there's a good 15, 20-second advantage over Celine, who is solid. And I like the posture, and I like the way she's riding, but it's just slow. And as you say, All it takes is, she might be full throttle right now, all it takes is a couple more notches. And, all right, she might be a little bit more at the limit. But coming down towards the beach now.
Yeah, both of them pretty much at exactly the same point on the course, but the way it works is that she is still quite a way behind because she's now got these 3 hairpins.
Slightly splashing down as she takes her left-hand turn. The board is so low in the water. So Natalia,
half a lap to go.
Half a lap to go. Also quite low in the water, but super chilled. And this is, again, the difference between Natalia and Celine, because that is half a lap to go now for the Turkish lady. Very, very low in the water. We'll see that board. We've seen that board, in the hands of Timucin and Natalia Tarasenko sharing her board with her husband Alexander, who are entered under their Latvian nationalities, both residents here in the UAE.
As we've found with quite a few of these.
As we found with quite a few of them, yeah.
So I would say at least 60 to 70% of the fleet.
Over the line then comes Natalia, and she is our first women's victor in quarterfinal number 1. We're going to wait a couple more moments to have Celine over the line, whether she decides to go over the line or not. It does look as though she may be not quite heading towards the line, and she's already decided that she is eliminated out of the competition. So those 2 women head towards the beach. I'm seeing a complaint from husband down on the water as to why she didn't decide to finish, but either way. A controlled run from the 2 women.
Both riding exactly the same board as well.
I think
looks like the one on the back might be a size bigger.
They're both flights, aren't they?
Yeah.
There is Timucin. Actually entered under the UAE flag initially and then switched to the Turkish flag. And getting ready for heat number 2, Angélique Barbier with the Dubai flag, but also, of course, French, and wife of Renaud, mother of Baptiste, aged 42 years of age. Not quite right.
Angelique has changed since yesterday.
She's looking a little different. And Agnieszka Abramovich, though, wife of Witold Abramovich. I mean, when you've got 3 Barbiers, it's easy to get them mixed up. I think that was Baptiste in the photo.
You think?
I think so, yeah. Well, it certainly wasn't Angelique, was it? Angelique, but yes, Angelique, 43 years of age. Husband, 45.
Okay, so red flag is down, green flag is about to go up, and there we go.
Interesting.
Oh no, it looks like
Angelique
a slow start here.
Taking a long time to get going.
So to the knees, front foot goes up, back foot, and then a little bit more acceleration.
Oh, she's up on foil, and Angelique is not yet. So it might have been a slow getaway, but I think Agnieszka is going to have the advantage. There she is, into the first turn. And out of my window, I can see Angelique only just going into her first turn. So now she's up on the foils. Hopefully she's got some speed that she can add to this momentum. Renaud with a bronze medal to his name. Baptiste will be on the beach as well. Their youngest is here too, ready to do the junior category when Liam decides that it's open. And through hairpin number 2 for her.
Yeah, they're both keeping it quite safe, let's say.
Steady.
Very, very safe and steady riding here.
It's going to be advantage to Agnieszka. She comes over the line now. But actually, Angelique is not that far
No,
behind.
considering the slower start, I was expecting there to be a bit of a bigger gap.
Here is the downhill helmeted Agnieszka, married to Witold, who developing the Manta system. Now that looks like a different board, so it's not as though they're sharing the same kit, Agnieszka and Witold. But I suppose if they share the same kit, they can't do it together, and you can't hold hands at weekends when you're e-foiling around Dubai's marina.
There'll be some good spots to e-foil around here, though.
Oh yeah,
some really nice spots.
It is the perfect area to do this sport. You don't have to worry about wind, and waves are not necessarily your friend. And so lakes, water parks, marinas and artificial waterways, absolutely where you want to be. 1 lap completed from Agnieszka. She is ahead of Angelique, who comes across the line now.
Yeah. So, second lap now. Still no falls yet.
See, they're just sensible women. Just don't push it too much to the limit. They're absolutely, all 4 women that we've seen so far have been solid riders. A little bit of work for the front foot there for Angelique.
Let's wait till the final comes.
Here is Agnieszka. She comes over the line with half a lap to go, so she is still with the advantage.
Yeah, and a good advantage as well. Upwards of that 15 to 20 second mark.
And now Angelique to cross that line. She's losing time, isn't she?
Yeah, big time.
And it is possibly just her settings, because it just looks so solid. It's not like she's riding badly at all. She's
yeah,
just
it seems
slow.
like any slower though, she would like come off the floor. You know, she'd definitely give it a little bit more grunt, especially on those straights. The only thing, it can be slightly difficult sometimes, especially when you're like all full out throttle, when you up the speed a little bit. There's that little surge of initial power,
right?
Which
that
can sometimes throws you out of balance.
Yeah.
So it's just being able to manage that, you know, when that does kick in a little bit.
Agnieszka then comes over the line and she takes victory in heat number 2 of quarterfinal number 2, progressing to the semifinals, and she will go up against Natia Tarashenko from Latvia. So Latvia versus Poland in semi-final number 1. And we'll turn our attention to the second half of the table, where we will find 2 French ladies, a Spaniard and a Swede. Quarterfinal number 3 then. Nina Lues and Julia Castro. Nina, the wife of Till, who is in the pro category.
Julia as well, just a really solid overall water woman. She does everything really well. Kites super well. Has done events in the GWA before. Obviously now stepping into the e-foil space, like a lot of these riders. So yeah, overall can do everything really well.
I got the feeling that Julia hasn't got much experience on e-foils either from her performance yesterday, because you say she's an incredibly rounded water woman, and you know, could be thrown around on a wave on a foil, no problems at all. But her pace yesterday in the time trials was pretty low, so I'm expecting to see maximum progress from the Spaniard.
Out all night on the water, going through batteries.
I mean, yeah, because Iran had to do the same thing too, didn't she? We'll see Iran Cerise in the fourth semi-final, who basically publicly got her first experience of e-foiling yesterday. Red flag is up then, 10 seconds to go before heat number 3 gets underway. It's going to be a green flag now, and it's a good start from Nina.
Yeah,
up
really
already onto the board, up onto the foil. where the white helmet is Julia Castro, and she heads off with the number 18 Lycra to the back end on Luca's right. That's her first part of the course. Luca's left for oh no, and she's already in the water.
Yeah. Fortunately, falls very close to her board, so is able to get up pretty quick. Still on the knees though. And just getting up a little bit too early. You can see now, it's sort of, and you can see here on this board, she's riding the foil drive, and you can actually see where the battery sits. Whereas on the board that we saw, I believe in the Open Men, there was one of the boards which actually has the insert for the foil drive battery.
It looks to me as though the purpose-built boards are thicker.
This is the winner's board. Alan was just on this bad boy.
Ah.
So it's coming off a hot streak.
God, so that board's actually doing quite a lot of work.
That's the one. Yeah, if you want to win a board at the moment, that's the board to get on.
Because you look at Julia's board, it's because it doesn't have the battery in the board, it's quite a lot thinner. I wonder how that changes the feel of
it'll be
riding.
A lot more snappy, especially on the turns.
Does look less stable.
Yeah. Yeah, and it will be a lot lower on the literage as well.
Ooh, Nina's gone swimming. Both of our ladies, we were talking about pushing the limits, and both of our ladies are in the water.
Yeah, let's see what went wrong here. What happens? Comes out the turn quite nicely. Looks like have be building a bit of speed.
Way!
Just losing control.
Slightly forward on the front foot. Almost feel as though she was overly relaxed.
Yeah, it looked like the board was, wanting to come and rise a little bit on the straight. Maybe she was going a little bit too fast, and the foil was wanting to breach, so she put a little bit too much front foot pressure on to get a little bit lower, and from there, just lost a bit of control when it touched down.
She is still in the lead, though. She comes across the line to lead after one full lap. In the background, nice shot from our cameraman there, was Julia, who comes over the line, 5-6 seconds back.
Yeah.
So it's still advantage France.
Julia going around the turn now as she actually fell on her first lap, so let's see if she can keep it clean. Looks like she's taking a wider approach.
It's a heel side turn for her. It tends to be slightly trickier. And that works.
Smooth exit. Nina as well, just coming out of the hairpin section. Both of them on the straight. Heel side turn for Nina.
Some discussions as to whether Julia has missed a course marker in this one. We would expect to see a black flag come up if race control decide that she has not done the course correctly. It does look as though she's probably going to lose this one anyway, Nina, unless Nina drops it a second time. Half a lap completed from both of them without falling in the water. But as we call it as it is Nina Luez who is heading down towards the final couple of turns for her. She's got 3 hairpin turns, 2 heel side, 1 toe side, whistles into the first one. Great line for the second one. It means it has to be very, very tight. And she goes wide, closest to the beach, and now has to cut back to go around the white one. And that's a heel side. You see how much harder it is. But now, with a bit of leg burn, I think, coming towards the line, needs to keep it steady, and it is going to be a win for Nina Luez. Yes, she does it. Not a huge amount of difference between her and Julia Castro just there, but it is a win for Nina. She progresses into semi-final number 2. Who will she go up against? The established winner, Agnes Vikander, or the absolute newbie legend, Oren Cerise? We'll find out in just a few moments' time.
So these are the 2 riders coming up next. Agnes and Iran's taking the winner's boards. Let's see. But Agnes coming in really, she actually had a super quick time yesterday, beating quite a few of the men as well when it came to the time trials.
I mean, literally, we've just seen a hot swap pit stop. You can do endurance-style racing because I've just seen Oran literally take the board off Nina. What would hang on? What happens if Oran wins? They're on the same board. That's going to be tricky.
Someone's going to have to be kind.
Somebody else is going to have to give her a board.
Yeah.
So Oran on the board that has just one in the hands of Alan Fedit. Nina using it as well. I wonder whether it's being used by Till. I wonder whether it's being used by Thomas as well, the Manta boss. Quite like this idea. Can share the costs. Red flag is up. They're both women quite close to the line here. So they're having to slow down and slow their drift. There is the line between those three boys. Green flag is up and off we go then. Agnes Vikander and Oran Saris. Now, Oran hasn't mounted often. Is slightly struggling to get up here.
There you go, a bit more front foot pressure.
There we go.
Boom.
Now.
Oh, Agnes flying.
She is the established master of this sport in the women's category. Women's division in Lake Garda last time out obviously took victory. She also has taken victory in other e-foil racing leagues over the last couple of years. Obviously, this is the first year for SFT. And no doubt already has expanded the profile of e-foiling to Sicily, to Lake Garda, 2 races over in America. And now here for the 3,000 pointer big final. The biggie, yeah.
Moran going rather wide. Agnes, every single turn, every single boy, she's making up ground. We haven't yet seen anyone sort of get quite caught up without falling in. You know, we've not seen like clean riding, but then one of the riders catch the other.
I think it might be today. It might be happening soon because they are both pretty close to each other already.
Yeah, very, very close.
In what is half a lap as Oran comes over the line, trying to style out some bucking. Here come Agnes, and look how far she is across the beach. She is absolutely flying. Woohoo! Now, race control said no overtaking. If you see somebody in front of you, slow down. Agnes is just a 24-year-old, and she's super competitive. I'm not so sure whether she'll do that. And I'm not so sure whether Oran won't be put off and fall in the water, seeing that the Swede is that close to her.
Ooh. Wide turn there.
Wide turn from both of them. I wonder whether Agnes has slowed down a little bit.
She's going to come on the straight here.
Oran looking pretty chill, though.
You can see the boys in the boat looking out. Getting ready to potentially pull that green flag down because it's going to get there any moment now. What Agnes will be feeling now she's this close to Oran is the sort of the turbulence from the foil. So she will be feeling that slight wobble. It's actually quite surprising how much you feel when you sort of go and cross the, I wouldn't say the wake, but I would also say the wake of the rider. But there we go.
It's possible to overtake and not be dangerous. Red flag, the black flag comes out then. That's Oran being black flagged for being overtaken. And Agnes then just showing everybody on the beach how it's done. Wow, that was fast. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was one for the photo, that one.
Yeah, Lucas is on the inside there.
That's the one for that's the one where if you fall, you've still got the nice photo.
Yeah, I love those ones. Yeah. Got quite a few of those with me jumping when skiing.
Yeah.
The landings were not pretty.
Yeah, the landings were.
Right then, so that is heat number 4 done and dusted. And we will progress through to the semi-finals of the women's. Just having a look out the window, see if we might get an interview in between times.
Yeah, I believe we do. I think we've going to get a little interview with Joe. That's what we were informed.
What the plan was.
So here we go.
But I don't see. Oh yes, I'd see a camera. So who's he going to talk to? Well, let's take a pause for a moment and go down to the beach. Women are actually in the water for our semi-finals. They're already ready to go, but we are going to take a quick break so that we can have a glug of water and speak to one of our athletes down there beachside in the Fahid Island Beach Club by Barbosa. That's the woman I want to talk to. I want to talk to Oran and find out how difficult and different this all is. Or whether I know she was on the water quite often during her pregnancy. But let's go down to Joe.
Down here on the beach with Nina Lewis. Congratulations, taking a win on that round 1.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy, very proud. It wasn't easy, but yeah, happy I made it.
Well, you definitely made it work. I mean, you're used to a beautiful location. You come from Martinique, but, you know, tell me a little bit. Abu Dhabi definitely looking like a big water sports complex, and also we can see great potential here for e-foiling.
Yeah, it's perfect. The conditions are amazing. The spot is, the water is super flat. It's sunny. The weather is perfect. Honestly, it's almost as good as home.
Well, there it is. Almost as good as home. You got to go for home. Wow, congratulations, Nina. You are through to the next round. Get yourselves out there as you are about to start.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Joe. Always good to connect and chat to some of the riders out there competing. We'll be seeing Nina again out in the water later on. But we're now going to be shifting back onto that heat. The riders are ready by the looks of things in the water by the start line. And we continue on with the pro woman.
Semi-final number 1 then. And we have Agnieszka Abramovich and Natalia Tarashenko. And we have a false start because I think that's Natalia with the blue helmet has gone the wrong side of the start. Race control starting the race. And
keeping in sequence.
Side.
No, keeping in sequence. And then pulling up the yellow flag for that rider on your screen there.
Yeah, I think Natalia went before.
Yeah, she crossed the line in the red flag.
10 seconds before she should have done.
Yeah.
Reacting to the red flag rather than to the green.
She could have maybe got back in time if she went back while that red flag was up. And before it went back down, she would have been okay.
This is for a place in the final. Semi-final number 1. Red flag comes up. Agnieszka's very close to the line. She also needs to pedal back a little bit because otherwise she might come across the line and floating towards the line as well. Natalia, they're both very close to the line, but the green flag goes up. It's a clean start.
Slow start though.
Natalia struggling to get up onto the board, up onto the foil. Lots of motor spin under the water, and it just pushed the board up rather than forwards. And now we're running.
Yeah, important to know there's no reverse option on these e-foils,
No,
you know, so if they cross the line too early, it's not like you can just shift it into gear.
I guess probably completely useless feature if you were to design it to go in reverse.
Yeah.
That is Agnieszka Abramovich with the full face helmet, with the downhill helmet from Poland. Husband Witold already competed in the open men's section.
Got to the semis, didn't he?
Got to the semis.
Knocked out by Alan.
And we have yet to see Natalia Tarashenko's husband Alexander in the pro men. Half a lap completed. Blue helmet going down to Luca's left. To the far, far side of Fahid Island's beach resort. A few years' time, this will be a buzzing city, but for the moment, just a solitary beach bar and club, which is our host, thanks to Aldar Properties as well, our main partner in this event, and the Abu Dhabi Ports Group as well. Safe riding from our 2 lady racers in semi-final number 1 so far, needing to twist that body to get the board to turn. Commit to that angle as well. Be comfortable with the angle. You'll see some of the men absolutely throwing it down. Agnieszka with the concentration, but it is Natalia who has the advantage.
Just about.
About 3 or 4 seconds it is to Latvia over Poland here. That was 1 lap completed.
3 or 4 seconds. That's just a crash though, isn't it? We've seen roughly, I would say, 5 seconds if the ball's quite close to you with the crashes. So all it takes is 1 little tumble and the roles can be reversed. Your position can change.
Worth remembering that both these women did not fall off at all in their previous heat.
It's looking like that again.
Oh no, did Agnieszka? No, maybe not. I can't remember.
We'll go with no.
We'll go with no. It's a better dialogue. Very wide turn from Natalia at the top of screen there. Kept the momentum, but covered a lot more distance. This is half a lap to go then.
Yeah, that wide turn's cost her a bit, especially towards the end here. That's gone from, 3 or 4 seconds to nearly 10.
Natalia is leading. Agnieszka now heads away from the beach once again. And half a lap to go. Needs to lay it all down now. A position in the mini-final. One of these women could still be third position, but what they'll be aiming for is the main final and a guaranteed podium position, potentially the win. It's going to be hard to beat Agnes Vikander. There is no doubt about that. A little touchdown from Agnieszka. Keeping an eye out of my window as well. She's gone a bit wide through the penultimate hairpin and coming towards the committee boat. Here comes Natalia Tarashenko. I think it's going to be victory to the blue helmet. It's going to be relatively close, but it is Natalia who takes the win. Second position will be for Agnieszka. And it was close at the end. I think it actually was closer than it was at the halfway point.
Nice to see some ground covered there and have a little bit of a tighter finish. But booked into the final. It's always good when you get your place in the final. You can fight for that gold.
Husband down on the beach giving her the vibes.
It's like a mixture of like dancing and celebrating. The music is down on the beach as well. It's important to know. What's the local time now? We're just coming up to 1 o'clock. So, you know, people are starting to make their way down here now in the afternoon in Abu Dhabi. And we have the second semi-final now. Nina Luez against Agnes Vikander. This is going to be a good one. Both riders ready on the start line. You can see Agnes. They're both, interestingly, beforehand, we saw the other riders really on the line.
Yeah.
But these ones are a little bit further back. Red flag goes up. So now starting to put a little bit of throttle on. As soon as that red flag goes down, you'll see them go and just creep closer to the start line. And Nina's had a good start. They're both up on foil already. So it's a great start.
Nina will have watched just how strong Agnes was in the previous heat. She knows she's got to really, really push here. Agnes is the most celebrated of our female competitors. Most happy at that angle.
Yeah.
Getting the board really across. That helps you turn and get those tight turns. She probably is quite happy in not going at 10/10.
Oh, this is a little wide here.
In the early part of the season, Agnes was up against the men and was fourth best. Now, for this competition, we've divided it into 3 different categories, but in previous competitions, they were all together in the knockout stages. Very, very wide.
They've got to be careful
Nina.
there as well. You know, you can see how
beach.
shallow it gets. It's like it just drops off, and you take that last turn too wide, you're going to jam that foil into the sandbank, and there's only one way you're going, and that's over the front.
So over the line for Nina, but Agnes is just so much stronger. And we will see this kind of style from the men's category coming up. The men's pro top 8 a bit later on.
Yeah, Agnes gets herself into a position where even if she falls, it's fine. You know, like she can get up and she'll still have enough time between her and her opponent where she is in the lead. You know, crossing that point now of 1 full lap.
The speed is remarkable. Bearing in mind how little stuff is in the water. Oh, Nina's gone down as well. She absolutely has now guaranteed Agnes the victory.
Yeah, we could see another overtake here.
They're both lookers left. And, it's a slightly weird one there.
Mm-hmm.
Almost a little bobble from the foil. Put her off balance. I'm looking at the committee boat to see whether we're going to get the black flag. I think we might by the end of the race. Nina is ahead. And Nina's strong, you know. I think I'm tipping Nina for a bronze medal in that mini final.
Yeah, this is where Agnes just needs to be careful, you know, following that wake line from that foil can cause a little bit of turbulence.
Yeah, then if she falls, all right, she's not going to lose, but she won't get the black flag given to her. Looks as though the committee boat is happy, though, for the moment.
Be interesting now to see how much time Agnes gets when it's a little bit tighter, because last lap, Nina went really wide. You can see she's gone really wide again. And then you've got to force it to go around that last buoy. And you just look how much tighter Agnes is on the turns.
Yeah.
Sort of cutting on the inside.
Actually,
you see, that's the turbulent there that I was talking about, nearly losing it when she was crossing the wake.
So to the line, and that is a victory for the Swede. Agnes Vikander taking the win. following Nina Lues. And that is our semi-finals done and dusted then. Mini-final and final coming up. And we will go straight through into the mini-final. 3-lap mini-final and 3-lap final. And we are going to see Nina Lues, who we've just seen, and we just spoke to as well. So she's got to reset herself before going into this mini-final. And she's going to go up against Agnieszka Abramovic, who is still down on the beach with husband Witold. But Nina wants to finish this one. She's carrying on. And so...
Yeah, she's got to go straight in.
She's got a long time to go still.
Not the smartest of moves, though, because I believe she'll be in the next heat as
well. Well, yeah, her legs are really going to be burning.
Yeah.
Two back-to-back races. She's looking over her shoulder.
I don't think she realises it's actually over.
Concentration face, you see.
So dialed in, you know.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're commentating on this like it's normal, but it really isn't normal. To see this, it just looks like you gave. If in the 1990s, if you showed this to you and I as a kid, you'd just be like, "That is sci-fi." The whole thing's floating off the ground.
Yeah, it's so cool to see the development of it.
Well, Nina completes her race and seems to continue.
We're going to have to
going.
pull her off. Yeah, we're going to have to pull her off.
Stop now! Stop! You've got to go again.
She's still going.
She's still going.
She's still going.
Has she forgotten how many laps to do?
She's just going to go until the battery stops working.
Somebody's setting the jet ski. She is still going.
Yeah. It's an endurance event now.
Somebody just join her to race her. Presumably
she's like time trial mode, you know.
the committee boat obviously didn't give her the signal.
Well, there's no flag showing. So
oh no, hang on, no, this is her finish, isn't it? Because she was finishing in the other direction.
Ah, okay.
So now she's finished, but actually,
you know, why not finish the lap anyway?
But no.
She's hogging the course. That's what she's doing.
Quite nice and tight. At least the drone can give us some pretty stuff, because obviously we're using the drone very much to be high and show us the competition between the two. But when you've only got one athlete in the water, the drone can get right close to the athletes.
It's also nice, like when you're competing, not just at this event, but any event, like the beauty of it as well is being able to have the spots yourself.
Yeah, right.
Like especially like when you go and talk about freestyle kite surfing, for example, in where we're going in Taiba Lagoon. You go to Taiba Lagoon at the time of the year that we host the event, and it's full of people kiting.
She's still going.
It's the best location in the world. But then you go and you run an event there, and you get it to yourself, and it's like, whoa.
Hey! I don't know how
now
much.
Someone's got to tell her that she's got to queue back right up at the end because her competitor's ready to go. She's got to get ready. She's got to go straight in.
Oh, she's got herself a couple of extra practices.
Yeah, but there's going to be the legs are going to be burning. She's now swimming after her board.
And Eshka's been given the signal that it's 3 laps.
Yeah, so Nina's done her 2. She's going to do now another 3. And pretty much back to back.
And I haven't seen Till. Actually, no, Till's in front of us here. He clearly wasn't paying any attention whatsoever. Her husband was just watching on, because all the other husbands have been waving at each other and waving at their wives and giving them lots of advice and all the rest of it.
Yeah, she's being told now, you've got to go again now, but for 1 extra lap.
I'm not sure she knew what she was doing the last competition.
Unless she thought it was 3 laps. No one will know except her what's going through her head right now.
Well, we're going towards the mini-final. So it is an important race because it is a medal race.
Yep.
And now I think she's now realised what she's done. So it will be Agnieszka who is going to be heading off Luca's left across the beach. And it will be Nina who is going to be heading away from the beach to go Luca's right. This for the bronze medal. The mini-final, 3 full laps. Either Nina has got her eye in and she's absolutely ready for this, or she's knackered and her legs are going to say no more. One of the two. It will play out. She's just done 3 laps unnecessarily.
Where is she now?
We're ready to go. Waiting for the boat to give us the red flag. Committee boat preparing that red flag. She's hanging out away from the line, whereas we saw a different technique from Agnieszka, who stayed on the line and then throttled on. Nina got that little bit of momentum beforehand.
I'm going to be interested to see how the pro men start this. I would say that they will be having the stopwatch on their wrist, and they will be going at least 15 meters back from the start line, and they'll be doing a fast start.
Green flag, off we go. And Nina just getting herself up on the board here. This should be an interesting one. Nina Lewis and Agnieszka Abramovic.
So Agnieszka there going round her first buoy into the tight 3. Nina now coming up to that section as well. Looking to go a little bit, she's a little bit faster at the moment. She does tend to go a bit wider here. You can already see on the bottom of your screen just how wide Nina's gone there. Needs to be a little bit tighter on that last mark. But again, goes a little bit wide. You can see just how close she gets to the sandbank.
Encouragement on the beach from number 14, Till Lewis, husband of Nina, flying across the line now.
Yeah, good speed.
And that is advantage, I think, to Nina over Agnieszka, who now comes across the line for her first half a lap. Here she is. Agnieszka was safe in her other 2 heats, but she surely has added a little bit of extra speed to that controller. Here is Nina once again. She's over at the far end at the moment.
Yeah, on that straight section, a little bit more power.
She's leaning her elbow on her knee there. Is that a sign of fatigue, having done 5 laps already in quick succession? We're watching Agnieszka through the final hairpin turn of the lap, but Nina is already coming towards the line, so big advantage for the French lady, Nina Lewis, based out here in Dubai.
Yeah, she's flying. Those extra laps from the previous heat showing no mercy.
Here's Agnieszka, looking good on the straight, but she needs to be more committed in the turns. A little bit of a splash down before she comes into this first hairpin.
Nice turn there. That's the approach. You want to go a little bit wider and then cut it in.
That's all right, that first hairpin, but look how direct Nina is for the second one. That's pushed her really, really wide and just making a little bit of a extra work for herself in these hairpins.
Yeah, there's a lot of time lost on that.
Legs looking like they might be starting to complain a little bit. And now across the line. At least Till is watching on this time. Crosses the line.
One more lap to go for Nina.
Half a lap to go. Agnieszka's not that far behind. I think Agnieszka's built up some speed on that last lap, has reduced the advantage in this women's mini-final. It's for a bronze medal. We're watching Agnieszka, who really needs to commit to these next couple of turns. It's in these turns where it can be won and lost. Looking out my window to see where Nina Lewis is, and I think Nina might have backed out a little bit. This could be a lot closer. We might have to go up on the high and find out exactly how close it's going to be. Nina Lewis, I think, has the advantage.
Oh, she's gone wide on this last turn.
Agnieszka goes wide, and Nina Lewis comes to the line, and it is Nina who takes the victory. Agnieszka is going to be second. Nina still doesn't. Oh, no, we've got 3 laps. We've got another lap.
We do have another lap.
And it's closer again then.
Yeah.
Agnieszka is closing in. 2 laps. If that was the victory lap, fine. But it's not. Agnieszka splashes down.
Oh, that splash down's caused her to go a little bit wide.
Hardly out of the water with her foil. That doesn't give her the angle that she needs to do tight turns. Here is Nina on that board that's already taken a victory in the hands of Alan Fedit. Sell it for triple the price. It's a winning board.
Place your bets.
That hand on that back leg. Here comes towards the line.
Yeah,
this is
Nina
not the
Friday.
end for her. Still got half a lap to go.
Lap. Not much ground made.
That's perhaps a slight more advantage this time. Agnieszka's lost a little bit, I think.
I thought for a moment Agnieszka was going to be making up some ground, but I think those hairpins...
She's low in the water. You can see the splash downs from the marks left in the water. And every time she touches down, she'll lose speed. And it will also throw her off balance slightly.
Yep, just like that.
Into hairpin number 1. Into hairpin number 2. But she is too far back now. Unless Nina makes a mistake, it is going to be Nina Lewis who's going to be your bronze medalist. She's top of the screen. Here she is coming towards the line. The French lady based out of Dubai is going to be bronze medalist here in Abu Dhabi for the women's pro category.
Nicely done there. You can see she's stoked. 3rd place here in the Pro Woman SFT.
That is a celebration. I like that. Let's do that in slow-mo.
That takes gold for the celebration. Gold for the celebration.
I wonder whether she could have been second as well. If she'd been up against Natalia, I feel as though she might have been the stronger.
Luck of the draw.
It is luck of the draw, exactly. She was close in terms of time yesterday.
That board now has gone from a winner's board to a podium board. It's a podium board. So a 1st and a 3rd place. But here we go, the final. Natalia against Agnes. Agnes really hasn't put a single foot wrong, and she is looking rapido out there. So you would put your bets on her to take the win here, but you never know what's going to happen.
And the green flag has already dropped, so we are racing already. And it is Natalia with a blue helmet going away from us. This is Agnes coming down to Luca's left to the first of the hairpins. There is the blue helmet of Natalia Tarashenko. We'll see Alexander a little bit later on. But she has huge amounts of work to do if she wants to take the victory in this 3-lap final, because we've seen Agnes compete with the best of the men over previous events. First proper event to have a women's division completely. But there isn't very many women out there that can compete with this lady.
Yeah, she's already coming up now to the halfway point of her lap. Crossing the halfway point right now. And as the seconds tick, it leaves more work for her opponent. And Natalia now coming only for her half a lap just now. So there is at least 20 seconds between the two of them. And Agnes is just gaining and gaining, buoy by buoy. Coming around that hairpin, going wide here, very wide from Agnes. Just trying to keep it together. Trying to find the balance between speed coming into these marks.
I like how she's able to almost put weight on the back of the board through some of those hairpin turns. It seems to bring the board around. We've seen a couple of athletes do that.
A little bit more, you know, where your back foot's over the mast, you can put a little bit more pressure and really, you know, push that forward to the limit a little bit more.
So much more pace from Agnes.
Yeah, it's like she's got like an extra motor on her boards, you know. She's got like 2 propellers and the rest have got 1. this could be a catch-up here. Another lap like this.
Not much of a competition in the final in the end. The 24-year-old from Sweden, undisputed master, or masteress. Is that a thing?
Whatever you want to call it.
She's
going
good.
to be at the top of the table.
She is good. Throw her into the men's pro category and see how she flies there.
Nice tight turn there as well from her. She learnt from the mistake on the last lap she did, going super wide. And this is where you see her flying through when it comes to the straight. Locks in, weight going forwards.
Yeah, it really is impressive. It is so impressive how fast she is. Yes, in a straight line, but also this ability to just lay that board on an angle. Actually been quite careful there. Didn't really...
It does look like she's come off a little bit. I mean, it's not like she needs to do too much now.
But you know what it's like.
You want to catch, don't you? You're like, I want to...
Well, also, when you relax and you go, well, I don't need to go too fast, that's when the mistakes happen. When you're locked in, concentrating and pushing as hard as you can, that's where you're in race mode. And as soon as you then go, I'm a bit chill, that's when race mode... I mean, she's definitely slowed up because she's not catching Natalia anymore.
Yeah, she's going into her last half a lap. And this is a nice shot now with the drone being able to follow the two riders like this. This is exactly the angle that we want when they're like this.
Yeah. We'll see a lot more of this when we have the...
yeah, when we have the wingfoil.
The wingfoil slalom coming up later on.
Good example there of how she takes the turn differently, but she's gone wide. Oh,
blimey, Lucas.
Oh, Lucas.
Say sorry, Agnes. I mean, maybe she did it on purpose, but it felt like she was on a subscribed angle directly to her.
That would have been prize money to Lucas.
Yeah. Sliced in half by a foil and motor. Whistles across the line. And that is the victory.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
In your very first women's division of the SFT Surfoil World Tour E-foil category, as expected, Anja Vikander has taken the victory. It was sort of expected with her performances in the mixed categories over the year.
I can't believe Lucas must have it. His heart must be pounding out there right now. For sure, he's moving. He's moving buoys. He's like, I'm not doing this again. I haven't signed up for this.
It will be gold medal then for Anja Vikander. It'll be silver to Natalia Tarashenko, and the bronze going to Nina Lewis at the end.
So we'll be moving on to pro men and pretty much going straight into it.
Hopefully, if the men are actually prepared. I don't see any men ready, but there's a lot of partying going on. I can see Thomas Rediger there with the number 20, getting some content for Manta Foils. But actually, Agnes was on a Waydo.
Yep. She actually works for Waydo.
Well, there you go then. Waydo sounds like a Chinese brand. Yeah?
Yeah. Few pickies.
Good husband duties there from Alexander Tarashenko.
So here we go.
Well, yes.
Men pro.
You say here we go.
I say here we go, but I'm going to say no, we are not going.
We're not going because Thomas Rediger is taking photos of his kit from the women's division. I don't see Manalapa anywhere. So that is what we're expecting to see next. But I don't think it's going to be quite happening yet. We've got a couple of moments.
Let's have a little look out the side of our booth, see if we can see Manel. Well, both riders, really.
Well, no, one rider's run across there. Let's take a break and work out what's going on, and we'll be back with you in a second. Athletes getting ready then for the men's pro category. The top 8 men from our time trial going up against each other in a knockout competition, which will start with the quarterfinals. And we have our Spaniard, Manel Arpa, heading down towards the start line. He will be going up against the boss of Manta Foils, Thomas Radiger. Then we'll have the winner last time out in Lake Garda, Clemens Kresser, alongside Till Lues. And then the 2 Americans that have really dominated this sport this year in SFT. Jacob Rainey, he'll go up against Alexandra Tet, who was very strong yesterday. And Justin Chait will be up against Alexander Tarashenko, the husband of Natalia, who we've just seen. There are our 2 races, getting the hype.
Manel was 3rd fastest yesterday, I believe, on the time trials.
Was he?
It was at 109.
Yes,
or
he was.
Yeah, 3rd fastest. So if you were going based off the time trials yesterday, you would place your bets on Manel.
Same sequence, 2 laps, but these laps are going to be quite a bit faster.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see the starts, how quickly they're going to be crossing the line once they're on their bellies.
Thomas is really, really good at riding on his knees. I've noticed that earlier.
And he gets you so far.
Red flag is up 10 seconds before the start of our first quarterfinal for the pro men category. They're going to get a little bit of momentum towards the line, trying to time it right with the green flag now up on the committee boat, and it's a good start from both of them. Actually, Thomas up on the foils a little bit earlier, but now, yellow flag. Yellow flag is up, so there was a false start.
Over early.
I don't know. I mean, from our angle, it looked all right.
Yeah.
It must have been very marginal, and I'm not entirely sure who it was.
Let's see. Maybe we can get a close-up on the boat and see who they're telling off.
Did we get a replay of that start? Yeah, I think it is going to be Thomas. He's sort of saying, was that my fault? You get a warning.
Thomas is heading over to the... There you go. So good at riding on his knees.
He's so good at riding on his knees.
Yeah, so he was over early.
The tiniest bit. Maybe this is a new discipline.
I was just using the words out of my mouth. Okay, so let's go again. Manel there on the inside, riding the lift X. Thomas there on the left with the over early. He's on the flight board.
No.
No, he's not, sorry. He's on the winner's board, let's say, the Alan Fedit, the podium board.
He's the boss of Manta. I really hope he's not.
Oh, yeah.
That would be awkward.
From above, it just looked like they all that blue colour you see.
Yes, as you say, he's on that board that's being shared about. Hopefully it's not run out of battery after Nina did about half an hour on it. Right, waiting for the red flag to go up. A little bit of discussions going on the committee boat. Our camera, by the way, on the committee boat has got overly hot. So not working. It needs to be put under some air conditioning before it gets going again. And Thomas needs to be careful not to go across that line.
Yeah, he's a little bit closer.
He's closer, yeah.
You've also got the wind coming in now from the direction where it's sort of blowing cross on shore. So maybe you can see he's just sort of shifting a little bit, the positioning.
That was tight.
Is it good? From our angle, again, that looked tighter than the first. But clearly from the committee boat, it looks all good. Okay, so both riders now up on foil. The race has begun. And you can see Manel here, real nice tight turn there to start things off.
Number 12 is Manel Arpa from Spain. Thomas Radiger there with the full face helmet heading down to Luca's right. He's got 3 hairpin turns, 2 of which heel side, 1 toe side. Here he is through those toe sides. Lots of distance given away wide on each of those turns. And I tell you, Manel Arpa is so fast. Across the line, he comes already.
Yeah, Manel is looking so comfortable there. Nice, quick, snappy turns around the markers. On the straights, looking really fast. Thomas there on that big straight. Also up in the gears a little bit, but Manel is in a gear of his own at the moment.
Here he is, the Spaniard.
Look how tight he is around those turns. This is the key one. Just coming off it slightly.
Yeah, nice. Nice and tight as well.
Yeah.
Not too much distance travelled. Patience with the momentum. That's what you need. And then when you can go straight, you can go straight.
Oh, he's
and look at
flying.
the speed of Manel Harper over the line to complete one full lap. And he is a good 10 seconds ahead of Thomas Radiger. Thomas only coming across the line now. And Manel is on the same part of that course. Actually, where is Manel? Oh, has he?
Manel potentially, has he gone down?
Has Manel dropped it?
Yeah, I think he has. I think he's gone down somewhere. Yeah, you can see, look, the
Whoosh! Oh,
just
big
coming
hit.
out, just pushing it too much. Unfortunately, I still don't see him up. Oh, there he is. He's up now.
But Thomas is
I don't know what
missed
Thomas
the
is doing.
course.
I think he thought that because Manel went down.
Oh, what a huge
Oh,
mistake
it's an
from Thomas
absolute
Radiger.
mess.
Thomas could have taken the victory, and he saw his competitor in the water and stopped racing. Manel's now back up,
And is he now overtaken Thomas?
and now he's overtaken Thomas, yeah, because Thomas went back to him. Oh, dearie me. So Manel is going to take victory here, and to the deserving victor, but a big crash from the Spaniard. And this will now be the flying finish for him. That's victory to Manel Harper,
I think he's got half a lap left. Oh, no, there you go.
but it should have been Thomas Radiger after the mistake. And what a massive error from the Frenchman based out here in Dubai.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to actually see how that race would have unfolded, whether Manel had enough distance between him and Thomas to still be in first, or whether it would have got a little bit tighter. I don't know, Manel looks super quick. I think he probably would have still had it, but it would have definitely been a tighter finish.
High fives down on the water between himself and Clemens Kresser. And it will be Clement alongside Till Lewis. So Till getting the board that we've just seen from Thomas.
The famous board.
This is doing a lot of work, this board.
It's being put through its paces. It's going to need an MOT after this.
And there down in the water, Thomas Radiger chatting to Nina. Looking very different, Nina, now that she's out of her lycra.
And a nice shot of our event site. There we are. We're very much on the far right-hand side. You can see it's a really nice setup that we've got here with the beach club, with the stage on the left. And gradually, as the afternoon goes on, we will see this fill up with plenty of water sport lovers.
Yeah, really popular yesterday evening with the, was it Gorgeous George, the band?
Yeah.
Curious George. I think it was Curious George. One of the two.
Curious, Gorgeous George. Let's go with that.
Curious. They were the band playing on the main stage, and then there was quite a famous DJ playing later on.
Yeah.
With our.
I was told it went into the early hours of the morning.
You were told?
I was told. I wasn't there.
Okay. I certainly wasn't. Red flag is up for the second of our quarterfinals. Clemens Kresser and Till Lewis. There's Till in the 14. He'll be heading to Luca's left. Luca's right and away from us for Clemens Kresser. The victor last time out in Lake Garda. And one of our favourites for sure.
Yeah, he's flying as well on that side of the course.
A little mistake there from Till Lewis. Got to get himself into the rhythm. His wife's done a pretty good job earlier on.
Clemens as well, riding foot straps, always worth noting.
Yeah, so he's also on this Audi setup, isn't he?
The aerofoils in collaboration with Audi.
Comes flying across the line.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, and I've seen Till go down in the water. Till's had a crash.
Yeah, he was already quite a way back, and now this really opens up the door to potentially do a full lap around Till. Still not up on foil. Oh, he's gone down again. He's gone down again.
And he's just about at the line here.
This is going to be, this could be over before the full completion of a lap. As Clemens now hot on the heels.
It's not going to be long before that black flag is being prepared, I think.
Yep.
Clemens Kresser is going to be progressing
Yeah,
into the
here we go.
semi-final. He comes past Till Lewis. No, he doesn't. Till's actually got the inside line there.
Till knows. There
There
we
you
go.
go,
It's
yeah.
over.
Black flag being held up. And so, end of quarterfinal number 2. Clemens Kresser takes the victory. And he will meet Manalapa in the next round.
Also, oh, that's going to be a goodie.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's going to be super, super close.
Next one is Jacob Rainey versus Alexandra Tet. Now, Jacob Rainey is one of 2 men that can win the SFT World Tour. It's himself and his main compatriot, Justin Chait. But Alexandra Tet was really, really good.
Yep.
The French Dubai fitness instructor and influencer. You may know him already as Alexander Head on YouTube or Alex Tet on TikTok. And he's already been in some competitions last year in Dubai. And that fitness, both of these 2 men, super, super athletic. But that helps a lot with the stability on these e-foils with that high speed. Right, red flag is up. It's going to be 10 seconds before we get going. I think Jacob is heading towards the left of the beach. Green flag up and off we go.
Clean start.
Clean start between 2 very fast men.
Ooh. Okay, both riders up on foil now. Race is on.
Jacob is the number 3. So he's down here far left of the beach. Alexandra far right of the beach. Nice and tight for Jacob. Here he is. The man from Naples in Florida.
Yeah, just shifting his feet a little bit on the board when the straight comes. Probably going to move that back foot back a bit. Yeah, he does. Ooh, pushes it to the limits.
Admitted to me yesterday he doesn't have as much time as he used to do in the world of foiling. When he was a freelancer, he'd be out on the water a lot more than now. He's got a full-time job. There's that's excuse number 1. Got him straight in there. Here is Alex Tet on the left-hand side of the course now through these hairpins at the top of your screen. Bottom of your screen is Jacob.
Okay, this is where it's going to be the interesting part, seeing how quickly they cross. Jacob, I remember his first time trial yesterday. Didn't he have a crash super early
First
on?
corner, yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. Jacob coming towards the line, right on the
forward.
nose of the board and more.
Whoa.
And he is just ahead of Alex Tet by only 2 or 3 seconds. It is on.
Oh!
Oh, Alex Tet's in the water. And that is pretty much game over, I'm afraid, unless Jacob has a problem as well. Here is Jacob Rainey, just now needs to keep it solid.
Yeah, I mean, he's done everything. They've crossed super close. And I reckon he thought, I'm a couple seconds below. A good chance for a straight hit. Nice wipe out.
I think the foil just came out of the water.
Yeah.
He just got a little too high, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he put a little bit more speed in, as he knew he needed to.
Amazing to see how far forward Jacob Rainey is on his board. Standing on the tip. He needs a longer board. Look how forward he is. I actually prefer the technique of Clemens Kresser in the foot straps.
Yeah. The crashes might be a little bit more nasty, though. That's
With
the
your
only
foot
thing.
strap,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Not being able to sort of fly off the board and being more locked in.
Don't crash then.
Yeah, that's simple, isn't it?
Here comes Jacob Rainey then. One final turn. Trying to get the rotation on the board. Trying to go as fast as he possibly can towards the line. On the front of that board, leaning forward. And he takes a victory in quarterfinal number 3. Alex Tet, unfortunately, is eliminated after a big shunt. He will come towards the line to finish. Oh, and he goes down again with another hugie right at the back of the water and the course. Let's take a look at this in replay.
Does that mean we might see a Justin Jacobs semi?
Yeah, well, we're almost certainly going to see that, I think. Whoa, that was a big hit for Alex Tet.
Yeah, he's taking a pounding in on this race.
Well, he knew he was up against one of the very best in the world, and therefore he had to push it to stay in the competition. His body can take the hits. And there we go. Down on the beach. It was really, really close. That first lap was close. But in the end, here is Alex Tech coming in.
Yeah, if you go out and you know that you've given it everything, you've taken a few big hits, I think that's the better way to go.
Yeah, exactly. Justin Chait then. And Alexander Tarasenko. Justin, considered master of this discipline.
Yeah, there he is in the black helmet, the full face helmet. That is Justin.
36 years of age to the 34 years of Jacob. It's between those two for the World Championship.
Oh, and he's straight up. Just watch here, Justin, how he moves on his board, sort of dances around from back to front, depending on where he is on the course.
Alexander Tarashenko, he goes down towards the left-hand side with that number 29, the husband of Natalia, who's got herself a medal. And we have a yellow flag, so we did get a jump start. I was wondering whether maybe Justin was a little ahead.
Yeah, it's Justin.
And they come whistling past committee boat. Justin comes in to get his warning. He's going to have to be a little bit more careful than that. He doesn't need to do that, though, does he? Justin versus Jacob for the semi.
Jacob's like, go on, mate, another one of those.
Yeah, exactly.
Little free pass. Yeah, it's tough to see from our angle, especially when we're not sort of directly on the line.
I think it's tough for them to see because they're so concentrating on getting up. And I don't think there's a sound signal. It's just a green flag.
No, they've got a buzzer as well.
Oh, there is a horn?
Yeah, there's a buzzer.
I wasn't...
horn at the start and a horn at the end.
Yeah, I've heard the horn at the end. But a little bit more instruction being given.
Okay. 3 voices.
2 flight athletes in this competition. There are more Manta athletes, but there's definitely more flight boards out there because most of the Manta athletes are on the same board.
Yeah.
But in terms of our entry, it's about equal, I think, between the 2 brands.
Yeah, the Manta ones put some miles on it in this event.
Yeah. Well, at least Thomas is here. You can give it back to him and say, right, service it for the next one, Thomas. We go again then. Justin is going to be going away from us, and Alexandra is going to be going across us.
He's going to have a super safe start, Justin, here.
I think it's okay to as well.
Yeah.
Like, he's so much faster. He was the fastest man in our timed qualifying by over 2 seconds. Over 2 seconds, over Clement and Manalapa, who we're going to be seeing in... Oh, Justin got that very wrong.
Yeah,
Green flag has gone up. He was keeping the momentum by doing the circles, but he had his back to the flag as they went green, and so he had to do half a circle. I'm not sure it's going to have much of an effect on the outcome of the result because Justin is just this mad faster than everybody else. And there was that Alexander Tarasenko going down. It looked like he was pretty committed to the rail. Look how cool Justin looks. I think Alexandra has gone down. Yeah, he's now back up on the board. But that's half a lap completed already by Justin Chait. There's Alexander Tarashenko. Actually, not as far back as I imagined he would be.
Bad. But Justin is gaining. You know, he's just so much faster. You know, especially on the straights, but also around those turns.
Looks good there. Through that third hairpin, it opens up for you. And you head down to the marks furthest away from the beach. Here's Alexandra, the Latvian Dubai resident.
Full lap now for Justin. So one more of those.
Oh, it's just so good, isn't it? Over the line. Alexandra Tarashenko. So that's the gap. That's about 15, 20 seconds, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe more. I mean, it's about 3/4 of the lap now. He's ahead. Yeah, you see that placing the feet further forwards.
And it's amazing he can do that without really affecting the foil too much.
Yeah, just having got so much control over his kit, you know.
Yeah. A few clinics going on as well around this site for locals to get used to water sports.
Ooh, nearly went.
Justin, full commitment. It is so cool to see. Walking around that board like it is concrete. And then over the line, and that is victory to Justin Chait by a country mile. He will go up against Jacob Rainey in semi-final number 2. It will be Clemens Kresser and Manal Arpa in heat number 1 of our semi-finals. All 4 we'll see then again for the medal races. But it is Alexandra Tarashenko who comes across the line to be eliminated. Athletes ready in the water for the first semi-final. I don't know if we're going to have Joe out there doing an interview.
No, our camera is still down at the moment.
Not sure.
But we've got a solid race coming up, haven't we? Continue on with the men. You can see Manal Arpa now coming into the water. Justin coming out. So there's Manal on your screen there, the left with the Dawn Patrol Lift X.
Clemens has had a victory to his name earlier on in the year. I didn't see whether Manal has even participated in this discipline this year. But there are the faces of our 2 athletes. This
is going to be good.
Placement into the final or the mini-final. We saw Manal 3rd in Sicily, behind 2 athletes not here, behind Justin Chait, sorry.
Yeah, that was at another huge event over in Sicily, the Water Festival. I believe that was around May time, sort of just before summertime that they had that.
Let's go down to Joe, who's on the beach with one of our athletes.
One, two, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. It is.
Nope.
He was there with one of our athletes.
He is there with one of our
All right,
athletes.
standing down here with Agnes Vikander. Congratulations, you are the winner of the Women's Pro.
Thank you so much. Oh, it feels amazing. I'm so happy.
So tell me a little bit about it out there. It's incredible to see how fast you girls are going, and you are actually catching up to the person in front of you.
Yeah, wow, that was, yeah, no, I don't know what to say. Like, it was in the straights, I just wanted to go as fast as possible, and then I took it a bit more easy in the turns, but no, it was just so much fun. Yeah.
So what about saying a little bit for people to be getting into e-foiling? I think it's incredible, especially a location like this, Fahid Island. It is perfect. Beautiful weather, crystal clear, nice and flat. How do you get into this sport?
Yeah, so that's like e-foiling is so accessible for everyone. Like, you don't need to think about the weather, or like you're not weather dependent, so you can literally go ride anywhere, anytime. And this, as you say, it's the perfect location for it. Butter flats, a little bit of crust on the water doesn't hurt, so you see how high you are. But no, so that's what I love about e-foiling. I'm from Sweden as well, so we have lakes and wind like 4 times per year. So I can just always get on the water, which I love with e-foiling, and get that adrenaline rush that you want daily, right? So I love it.
Well, there you go. No excuses, adrenaline rush, accessible for everybody. Get yourselves down here and join in. Congratulations, Agnes.
Great to see you there. Thanks for catching up there, Joe, with our pro woman winner, Agnes. And it's now semi-final number 1. And there we have Manal just waving to you guys watching. And he's up against Clemence, two very, very fast riders with very different styles as well, very different setups. And I'm interested to see. This is going to be a tight one. I think they're going to really be on the limit here.
Both will progress into the next round, one into the mini-final to fight for bronze, the other to fight for the victory. Mathematically, Clemence can still be, or could have still been, a champion. But I think that now that the other Americans have got themselves through into the final, I'm just trying to work out, both of our athletes have now disappeared. Race control seems to, not quite sure what's going on. But I think mathematically now both Americans are in through to the semi-finals, that Clemence now cannot win the overall, and it will be between Justin and Jacob. Just getting themselves a bit warmed up. I think they were sitting in the water for a fair bit whilst Joe was doing his interview. Oh yeah. Thanks to our eagle-eyed producer, Clemence Kresser is resetting the course because he's just gone and recuperated a buoy that has disappeared off to the on its own accord.
Yeah, looks like is that? Oh, it's Manel.
It's Manel. Sorry.
Manel's fetched it for us.
Now, usually, that would be attached pretty heavily to something that is attached to the ground.
It's the sharks, mate. That's what it is.
So, a good effort for being our course setter.
Tell you what, he hasn't put it in a bad spot either. But he's going to need the team to go out and put that in the right area.
Has he just literally dropped it? And it's no, it is still drifting from our position. We've got a pretty good fixed point on the buoy. Sandy bottom, I would have thought.
Yep.
So it should be easy to fix to the ground, but
yeah, it looks like it needs to come a little bit further up. The angle on that turn looks a bit tight.
Now, usually we have jet skis buzzing around. Oh, yeah, and see, it's now being fired up. So maybe a delay in proceedings. Maybe Joe can go back to the beach and do some more interviews.
Yeah, there we have Juan Antonio on the left-hand side, just dictating to the jet ski. Juan Antonio, our race director, makes all the important decisions.
I have to say, actually, I know it is still moving. I thought it fixed, but it is just starting to drift still. I guess we can take a quick break then and do a commercial, and we'll be back once that is fixed.
You got me shaking, yeah, I feel the fever coming on. Boy, you
Just a slight delay in proceedings before we get our semi-finals underway with a course marker that's decided to have a brain of its own. It has been recovered by one of our athletes, but it is still deciding to go off on its own. So we're going to have a delay in proceedings whilst we fix this marker and put it back in position. So athletes are buzzing around. Oh, the green flag's gone up to go racing. The marker is making its way.
It's okay. Yellow flag's gone up, so it was an early start.
Okay.
So we're back to back in sequence. Let's say now everything is normal again.
One of our athletes
Yeah, it looks
not
like
seen the flag yet.
He's not even he doesn't have a clue what's going on one at the Clemens, but he'll see when he comes down this straight now. He probably thinks he's catching Manel. There you go. Okay, so we're going to kick things off now with semi-final number 1, Manel against Clemens.
I think they might be being sent back towards the beach. At least Manel is back at the beach.
Yeah, Manel's just come in. I think he's just while the judges and the sports team talk on the beach.
Definitely can't go racing. That buoy that Manel has just recovered, he did a good job putting it, I think, in a pretty good position, but it has now set off on its own accord once more. And so until that is fixed and in position, we haven't got a course. So tough to go racing. And so the boys are actually back at the beach now. And it looks like there's a committee meeting. Is there a committee meeting going on? 3 and 11. So Jacob Rainey and Justin Chait. They're calling Justin. Why are they calling heat number 2? Here comes the 2 athletes.
I'm going to go and find out.
I mean, there's no way. The wind is actually blowing quite well. And I think that's possibly part of the reason as to the issues we've got with the markers. Because the markers are now catching the wind and blowing them away from where they need to be. And the whole course is shifting slightly. We've got the 2 Americans now out on the water. And they are being called in to do the next race. Meanwhile, there's a recovery of the buoy. Good news is if you are following everything that's happening down here in Fahid Island, you can be assured that we'll get some wind sports this afternoon by the looks of things. Wind starting to fill in the usual direction. And there is the buoy. You can see the anchor point. And now they're just trying to find the exact position. It needs to be pretty similar to where it was before. And drop there. And then somehow they need to get it to grip to the sand underneath. Because I think even the white marker just in front of them has moved as well since the wind has started to blow up. Do you have any idea, Liam, as to why they've decided to do the next race, the Americans race?
Yes. Yes, I do.
So we seem to have cancelled, or we've moved on from heat number 2, or semi-final 2 to semi-final number 2.
Yeah, I've got a bit of gossip for you, Ben.
Gossip?
So, yeah, there's always a bit of gossip. So it's actually 2 over earlies from Clemens. So he is Manel automatically goes through to the final. So
hey?
There were two over earlies.
We never got a race start.
And that was what happened. So the first one, and then the buoy moved. The buoy was placed back. They went again, and it was another over early. So, yeah, disqualification.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we're moving on to semi-final number 2. And this will be between Jacob Rainey and Justin Chait. Not before the sports crew get the buoy in position. It's definitely not in position at the moment where it's been placed. I don't know if we've got a replay of the what happened earlier. I didn't think we had any starts. I'm sure we didn't call any starts. We were far too interested in the buoy. And we've got a red flag up.
Okay, so we're back in sequence now.
So we are going to go racing here. I presume that we are, and there's that loop once again from Justin Chait, but he's facing the wrong direction when we go racing.
Yeah, but I think he's gone too early.
And has Jacob gone too early?
Yeah, Jacob's gone too early. You see, this is where they're really trying to push it and get that perfect start. As soon as that green flag goes up, they want to pass the start line.
And you've got wind on you,
yeah,
facing one direction. You've got wind with you going the other. So you are being pushed across the line if you're in Jacob's position.
Yeah, it's also tidal here, so we have to have got a bit of tidal movement.
Is it?
Yeah, there's a little tide here. So you've got the tide. It's like what Lucas was saying when he was doing his photos. There is a current. Tide is moving. It can get super, super shallow. But it's in our favour for the next few days with the high tide sort of midday.
How much of a difference is low to high?
You can see there on the camera angle with the drone just how high the tide does come up. There's that sort of bank.
Oh, okay.
So that's how high the tide has come up, let's say recently. Hopefully it doesn't get too much closer to the screen on the right, otherwise that will be a little bit of a shocker. And I actually haven't seen how far it does get low, but I believe it does get very, very, very shallow.
Countdown again. Justin with his circular technique. I don't know how good that technique is, though. Waiting for the green flag on the committee boat. Oh, it's very, very close once again for Jacob Rainey. But off we go. Jacob heads away from us. Justin across the beach. He is the absolute undisputed master, the leader of the SFT category. Jacob second in the championship this year in the World Tour. They've managed to fix the buoy back. So here comes Jacob towards it. We're watching Justin. And Jacob gets around the mischievous buoy. Back into position, but it is quite different. You can see the course and the way it's set.
Yeah.
Quite different now to how it was in the early part of the day, and very different to the other side of the course. As Justin makes his way around the back of the course, Jacob comes across the beach, flat out, down in towards the first turn. Tight towards the first turn. That's half a lap completed. You can't really compare them because they are now quite a bit different.
It's pretty much symmetrical, isn't it, when you look at the angle there? But it's actually not when in regards to their positioning.
Yeah.
In the track, because
So
Justin's
Justin,
now crossing the line for his first lap.
End of the first lap, and he's way ahead of Jacob. Whistles across the line. This is for a place in the final.
To join Manel.
To join Manel. Going away from us now with the number 3, Jacob Rainey. Right on that front of that board. These two best of friends hanging out in the hot tub last night. I guess they're sharing a room because they seem to be everywhere together. But Justin is definitely throttling back now. Doesn't need to commit. Slightly choppier conditions than the glass flat that we saw earlier on. That strange stance from Jacob Rainey as he comes across the line with his head in front of the board. And then moving those feet around. Half a lap remaining, but only a couple of corners remaining here for Justin Chait. Just the hairpin now at the end of the lap. A little bit of a wobble as the foil nearly breaches. Picture perfect over the line and into the final for Justin Chait. Once more, Jacob Rainey in the end is going to be a good 20-odd seconds back here. And he will go into the small final to battle it out over bronze.
Yeah, he's still completing his lap as well. This one's for pride now. So Jacob against Clemens, Justin against Manel. Going into the mini final next. Jacob's doing a Nina.
He's taking another lap.
Yeah. He just wants to fine tune it before going in for that third place fight off.
Yeah, because you go up against Clemens. That's a very, very hard one.
Yeah, and Clemens is making his way there now.
To get the bronze medal.
Yeah, that's going to be a good race. They're all going to be good races now as we wrap up the SFT eFoil Championships here.
Somebody needs to tell him to stop because he's exactly the same. He's doing exactly the same as Nina. I don't know where the confusion is here.
I don't know why. Yeah.
But it looks around. He's like, what? What's going on? I don't understand. Right. He'll make his way back to the start line, where Clemens Kresse is going to be in the water waiting for him. The mini final for that bronze medal. And unfortunately, I mean, all weekend, Jacob's been a fair chunk back from Justin. He gave me a good few excuses in the minibus yesterday.
I believe he's going to be joining Joe as well for a quick interview. Some inside info there as we go next into the mini final.
Justin, congratulations coming off of the water. Talk about some speed.
Yeah, the Flightboard Ultra L2 with that new Jet 2, it's just a rocket off the water. Felt good. All the turns felt good, and feel ready for the final.
How are you feeling with the course? Because we can see it's very technical. There's a couple of reaches where you can gain that speed, but definitely a lot comes to that maneuverability.
Yeah, so this course is very unique. It's, you know, you get a high speed into the buoy. It really takes some discipline to let off the trigger, dance on the board a little bit, move your feet to adjust for that lift or descent basically on the foil. So you're trying to match the footwork with the throttle control, and that's kind of what helps me.
Well, it definitely looks like you're dancing your way out there, mate, because you are on to the next round. Congratulations, and can't wait to see you out on the water. Back to you, boys.
Getting ready then for our mini final. Jacob Rainey versus Clemens Kresse. Number 16 on the back of our Austrian 41-year-old, the winner from Lake Garda. He's with that red helmet closer to the shot, Jacob Rainey. Both of whom struggled a little bit with their starts. Quite far back from the line, the both of them. Red flag is up. Jacob already getting a little bit of momentum on his board, waiting for that green flag, although Clemens static in the water. Green flag is up. It's a safe start from the two of them. And off we go then. Oh, big fall already for Jacob Rainey before he even gets towards the first big challenge. Foot straps, of course, for Clemens on that Audi kit.
Oh, what an absolute stinker.
And now Jacob is really going to have to push. Is there an opportunity?
He's just going to have to hope that Clemens here takes a fall and takes a tumble somewhere.
You know, Jacob was 10 seconds slower than Clemens in the time trials. It felt as though Jacob hadn't really got up to speed, and over the line for the first half a lap already, Clemens whistles towards the first of the hairpins. That's Jacob at the back of the course, heading towards the committee boat. And now he goes back up towards the, away from the beach. as does Clemens as well. Massive advantage to the Austrian for that bronze medal. On a flight tonight back to America is Jacob Rainey.
So the battle for third at the moment is, he's already got one hand on the bronze medal, Clemens, as Jacob now crossing for his first lap.
That's the end of his first lap.
Yep.
That is how much of a disadvantage he has.
I don't think we haven't seen a tumble like that straight off the bat, have we? As the, let's say the start of the course.
Nice and tight around that final hairpin for Clemens with those feet
catching.
strapped in, head over the front of the board, trying to get all the weight forward as much as you can with your feet strapped to it. Interesting as all these different techniques develop, nice and tight to that white mark. Half a lap remaining, although half a lap remaining until the end of lap 2, because of course we'll have 3 laps in this mini final. Now it's just a case of not falling, I think, for Clemens, and we haven't actually seen him go down in the water at all so far. That's him across the line then for the end of his second lap. Jacob may be slightly closing up because Jacob is coming towards the end of his second lap now. Nice and wide from Jacob.
Ooh, very wide.
Too wide perhaps.
Yep.
And that's him crossing the line for the end of his second. It's Clemens to lose now.
Yeah, he'll be wanting to repay his debts, let's say, in that semi-final where, unfortunately, getting the over earlies, but now he's gaining what seems to be on Jacob that little bit on the straight. But like you said, just needs to keep it together. No fools will see him take victory here.
Nice and tight toe side hairpin turn. We'll see Jacob in his periphery. So we'll know not to push. That is half a lap remaining then for Jacob Rainey. But just behind him, just to the left here, comes Clemens Kresser from Austria. The 41-year-old. It's only going to be bronze for him, but he takes the victory in the mini-final. And bronze on the podium. Congratulations from Jacob, who bails out of it, and a nice little 360. Oh, I nearly completed it. That was quite close.
That's the next discipline in E4, E4 freestyle.
Oh, don't, Liam. There's not enough space on the website.
E4 freestyle.
These guys were both riding, they were riding Tropical, I think they called it. Big storm they had in Miami recently, and they were out riding 25-foot waves on their e-foils. So there's a wave category in there easily.
Oh, for sure. That's the next thing, mate.
So here is basically what cost Jacob a medal. Kind of a weird one there. Definitely got caught out. I mean, a quick recovery. But it's his balance, isn't it, that causes that, rather than the board itself.
Yeah, definitely. And I can see here Manel putting his battery in his board, so he's far from ready for the final right now. But here we go, locking in.
The finals to come then.
There we go.
Manel Arpa up against Justin Chait. Big smiles from the 29-year-old Spaniard. Super dynamic. But ultimately the pace in time trials went the way of Justin, who was 3 seconds faster than Manel across a single lap.
Yeah, on the same course. Let's make that clear. It was the same setup yesterday, pretty much.
Oh, you mean the same setup, same course as today?
Yeah, yesterday and today with the time trials and also the elimination. It's exactly the same course out there. So if Justin puts a lap in like he did yesterday, then it will be tough to follow. But, you know, anything can happen. We just saw in that last heat where Jacob went down right at the start, and none of us expected that. So it just goes to show you what falling off, how much that can sting.
Justin has the choice here of which lane he wants to start in because he is the better seeded rider. So he is choosing to have the wind in his face for the start.
I reckon there's going to be an over early from one of them.
Well, history suggests that it will be Manel because he's got the wind behind him and the current pushing him towards the line. Justin's got that really weird discipline of circling like a shark before going. Likes to have the momentum over the foil. So lots of movement. Red flag is down. Green flag waiting to come up.
Oh, it's a good start from Manel.
Better start
just
for
needs
Manel.
to get out quickly.
Much better start
Yeah,
for
he got out
Manel.
early.
Justin was again facing the wrong direction on his start. But now the American into the first turn. Look how amazing these two riders are. High on the foil. They really get the angle from their board. Cut through the water to be able to turn tighter and carry that speed.
Yeah, Justin, nice turns there onto that straight section. Manel on the hairpin, putting in some nice quick turns as well, keeping nice and close to the marks. And this is where we're going to get an understanding of who is ahead. And it's tight, but it's just Justin.
If the courses are the same, that is advantage Justin. But it is really, really close, and I have a feeling that the courses aren't quite the same mirrored. The idea is that they are, but they can't be. It's just impossible without GPS to be able to fix it, and I'm sure it's tighter on the top side where Justin is now. But at the end of these hairpin turns, then we'll have a real indication because both athletes would have completed one full lap of 3. Justin gets the rail into the water, has to back out of it just a little bit. Comes towards the line. It is Justin who has the advantage after lap 1. Count it. 4, 5, 6 seconds probably is the gap between the two of them.
Yeah, let's stay on Manel now. Let's try and keep ahead of where Manel is because he's putting in a nice quick lap as well. As you can see from above, Manel on your left-hand side. There goes Justin. And here is Manel, as we watch him come into the more difficult section of this course, putting in a couple nice quick turns.
He's so dynamic on that board, isn't he?
Yeah, he really gets it nice and low, rail-to-rail stuff. You can see, and now puts on the speed. And a good moment here, good angle to see just how they're crossing.
It's not a lot of time lost from Manel.
Not at all.
Whistles past. There's a jet ski that's just gone past and created a little bit of wake for these riders to be careful of. Justin to the top of the screen into these tight hairpins at the end of his lap. The foil just poking out of the water. He's got that much angle on him. One final white boy to go before he can get his head down towards the line. And it's more an advantage after lap 2 for Justin Chait. He's on course for the World Championship, the first world champion of SFT Surfoil World Tour. A little bit of a bobble from Manel there.
Yeah,
just
pushing
unsettle
it to
him.
the limit.
Manel with 540 points. He might go up ahead of Clemens Dresser in the standings.
Exactly, it's all still to play for. We never know what can happen on these final turns. One of them could tumble and leave the door open for the other. As Manel coming now through the final section of this course on the straight.
Half a lap remaining now of this final competition. The men's pro final of the e-foil discipline here in Fahid Island in Abu Dhabi. After 5 different events, it all comes down to a couple of final turns for Justin Chait, the grandfather of e-foiling, the master of e-foiling, and now, for the first time, the world champion of e-foiling. He takes the victory here in Fahid Island, and only by a couple of seconds. Manel had a really good final lap and was so very close. It'll be just silver here in Abu Dhabi for the Spaniard, but it is victory for Justin Chait. The boys are coming, though. There is no doubt. Way! And a nice little wipeout on the beach in front of everybody. He has been dominating this sport for the last couple of years in its early development, but now as it gets more popular, the likes of Manel Harper are coming for him. Justin Chait is the champion.
I'll be interested to know where Manel was making up a lot of that speed there, whether Justin either came off it, but I don't think so, because we haven't seen that once from him, or where Manel was able to just gain a few more seconds, because like you said, at the end there, it was a lot tighter.
Yeah, I wonder whether Justin played it safe on that final third lap.
See the foils there, the size of the foils as well. Justin, yeah, using the jet, Manel with the fixed propeller. So both opting for a slightly different setup.
I think, for me, Manel's board looks much more dynamic as well. He's able to really throw that around and switch faster from left to right.
Yeah, Manel's also got a smaller battery in his board. He's riding the Lift X, which is got, like you said, a little bit more of like a surfy shape to it with a lighter battery. But Justin riding the flight board as well seems to be pretty dialed in on his setup.
Celebrations there down on the beach, getting all the social media content. Lucas has got his wetsuit off and now on the beach to get those smiles. Agnes Vikander down there, now in her civvies as the women's champion. Justin got a little bit of a limp on, I think, after 3 full laps of entertainment. But I tell you what, he was smiling like that the moment he got off the plane. He's absolutely loved it, and we are going to have our beachside celebrations in a few moments' time. We put to bed the world of SFT and e-foiling for a few moments, and we can go back down to Joe, as you can see, down there with your winner here in Abu Dhabi, but moreover, your world champion for 2025.
Wow, mate, the Speedy Gonzalez out there on the water. Congratulations, you are the pro men winner. How's it feel?
Feels pretty freaking awesome. Man, yeah, I'm beyond stoked right now. Been since day one getting on an e-foil, seeing the future of e-foil racing, and now actually winning the World Championships here in Dubai, or Abu Dhabi, sorry. And just absolutely incredible, mind blown.
I mean, the face says it all. We can see the stoke in there. One of the things everybody has been saying about you, you have that speed. You seem to be that little bit faster than anybody. Obviously, number one. But Manel was biting on your heels.
Yeah, Manel is a great competitor. He's a great athlete in many other sports, and he's really pushing the limit on the e-foil. And yeah, we've gone head-to-head before, and it's always been neck and neck. So really good to beat him again. But yeah, it's just stoked.
Wow, congratulations, mate, and beautiful win. And enjoy it. It's time to celebrate.
Yeah, gotta grab some beer.
Thank you, mate. Take care. Well, that is it, everybody. That is the end of the SFT e-foil World Cup here in Abu Dhabi, presented by Aldar. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. What an event it has been. We've seen speed, we've seen style, we've seen the guys and girls flying across the water, and you have to try out e-foiling. We will see you at the next one.